We are live on YouTube.
All righty. Good morning. Welcome to the second and last day of the Queens Borough Board budget hearing pursuant to Section 241 of the New York City Charter. The Queens Borough Board is holding this hearing in order to establish borough's priorities with regards to the mayor's fiscal year 2025 preliminary budget. The budget is shaped first by the preliminary budget, then the executive budget, and finally the adopted budget. I look forward to working with the mayor, the city council, and advocates on addressing budget shortfalls. I also look forward to hearing from you today. Individuals have already been notified what time they will testify. As a reminder, the allotted time for participants to testify will be as follows. Health and hospitals will have 6 minutes, and each person representing nonprofit groups or themselves will have up to 2 to 3 minutes at my discretion to testify as indicated by the countdown clock on our screen. Please present your top priorities only. And again, testifying at this hearing is not a formal budget application to my office. Once again, testifying at this hearing is not a formal budget application to my office. Please check the website at queensbp.org and go to the budget tab to view which applications are available and to read updated information on our budget process. Also, there's a great distinction between capital and expense. Expense is programming and capital is if you want to build something. So please be sure to click on the right tab or get in touch with our budget director, Iraq Chernovsky, if you have an issue. Now let's begin the second day of the fiscal year 2025 Queens Borough Board budget hearing. First, we have health and hospitals. First, we have, wait, what am I reading this from? First, we have health and hospitals. You may begin now.
So we'll start with Dr. Dave Olson.
Hi, good morning. I'm Dr. Dave Olson, and I'm sitting in on behalf of Mr. Neil Moore, our Chief Executive Officer for New York City Health and Hospital Queens. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to testify at today's hearing, and I thank Board President Donovan Richards and the entire Queens delegation for allowing me to speak about the critical role Queens Hospital plays in ensuring access to healthcare for the residents of Queens. Our primary objective is to make Queens Hospital the most outstanding community healthcare facility in our borough and in all of New York City by bringing it into the 21st century in terms of the kind of care we provide. I'd like to mention one recent accomplishment that illustrates this goal. In December 2023, Queens enhanced its surgical capabilities with the acquisition of the highly advanced Da Vinci robotic surgical system. Inaugurated with the name Quincy Queens, the new Da Vinci robotic surgical system will expand surgical care and improve patient outcomes and experience at Queens Hospital. Our hospital will be holding a ribbon cutting ceremony in celebration of this new robotic service tomorrow at 11 a.m. And I hope that some of you will be able to join us. I'm here to speak to you today, however, regarding specific capital budget requests for our hospital for fiscal year 2025. They include the following items in order of priority. The replacement first of our 18-year-old PET scan for $5.25 million. Replacing our cancer center's PET scan is our top priority. While Queens Hospital is the only public hospital in the borough with a PET scan, the current machine is no longer repairable and its technology is 18 years behind modern systems. Our Queens Cancer Center of Excellence, which has been in operation for the past 2 decades, not only serves the needs of our surrounding community, but is also utilized by residents throughout the borough. We are respectfully requesting $5.25 million in capital funding for the PET CT scans replacement so we may continue to provide best practice cancer care in order to meet the pressing needs of our patients, many of whom have seen high incidences of cancer and require the best possible treatment that will maximize their chances for remission and survival. The second request is the replacement of 220 medical surgical hospital beds at $2.5 million. Industry standards dictate that hospital bed frames last between 10 and 15 years. And Queens Hospital's med-surg beds are showing signs of aging and outdated technology. 90% of our beds are 15 plus years old, with 10% reaching 20 years old. A technological upgrade will ensure enhanced patient bed monitoring to decrease the risk of falls, improve ergonomic design and better patient position capabilities, and improved visual display of current safety features. A more sensitive and broader area of patient bed monitoring can decrease risk of falling by up to 50%. And advanced mattress functions and materials will prevent pressure ulcers. Lastly, by connecting these new beds to our call bell system, we will increase patient satisfaction. Third request is replacement and upgrade of fetal monitors, $375,000. In serving a very diverse, underserved population at risk for health disparities, Queens Hospital is requesting to upgrade its fetal monitors to state-of-the-art hardware that will allow for wireless monitoring, the latest software so that we can improve our abilities to monitor twins and triplets. Pregnant people and the unborn fetus are the most vulnerable populations, and the upgrade at minimum will allow pregnant people to have fully allowed movement and patient satisfaction during the stress of labor with Wi-Fi monitoring capabilities. This upgrade is essential for the health and safety of the expectant person and their unborn child. Most importantly, sensitive and accurate fetal monitoring can make the difference between a happy, healthy baby and a newborn with lifelong disabilities or death due to unforeseen events during labor and delivery. The next request is renovation of surgical subspecialty area at a cost of $1.6 million. Although Queens Hospital's operative and endoscopy suites features excellent surgeons and state-of-the-art equipment, including a robot, our outpatient surgical practice does not match either the technology or high-quality surgical care of the procedure units. To be sure, this area has not been updated since the building first opened in 2000. We believe our surgical subspecialty area should reflect the same top quality operative care with the most up-to-date technology for our outpatient practice in order to make the area more patient-friendly. We also want to make the area more person-centered for both patient and clinical staff satisfaction as we strive to achieve gold status in the Plaintree Person-Centered Care certification process. Our final request is renovation of Queens Simulation Center at $5 million. By replicating real-world clinical environments, simulation training offers a chance to achieve educational goals through experiential participation, learning, and reflection in a controlled environment. The goal of the Queens Simulation Center is to promote the development of a multidisciplinary approach to patient care. The center will be structured to meet the educational needs of all healthcare staff, residents, medical students, attending physicians, nursing, respiratory therapists, pharmacists, and others. The center will play a vital role in the medical education of our residents in internal medicine and obstetrics and gynecology. At its core, simulation training in medical education is about patient safety. The objective is to reduce consequential medical errors when trainees eventually become practicing physicians. Our clinicians will be able to use the center for hands-on training and practice, maintenance of certifications, and to hone their skills in dealing with complex and new procedures. In addition, multidisciplinary scenarios will foster improved communication among all members of the healthcare team. The Queens Simulation Center will improve learners' competence and confidence, increase patient safety, and reduce healthcare costs overall. The total amount needed in order to replace and upgrade our equipment is $14.75 million. In requesting this funding, I respectfully appeal to the board to bear in mind that our safety net hospitals represent the front line of care for the most diverse and fast-growing borough in the city of New York. In closing, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Queens Borough President Donovan Richards and members of the Queens Borough Board for this opportunity to address you today, as well as for the support that New York City Health and Hospital Queens has consistently received from this board. We appreciate and value the partnership we have developed with you on behalf of the people of Queens, many of whom are in need. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Holson, and of course, want to thank Queens Hospital for all the important work that you're doing on a daily basis to make sure health and wellness is centered in our borough and the least amongst us can be served. So we will definitely take a look at these items and get back to you, but thank you for your testimony. If you can submit as well, so we have, oh, you did? Okay, perfect. So we have it in
Yes.
writing now.
Okay.
So we your list throughout the process. Thank you so much for your testimony.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, next we're going to Elmhurst Hospital.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing really good. Sending much love and many hugs from Elmhurst here in Jackson Heights. And I want to say hello to my fellow brother in Queens Hospital. One of the major things that I hope that you'll see between Elmhurst and Queens is not only our brotherhood between two hospitals, but also our alignment in our asks. So for Elmhurst Hospital, one of the major things that we're asking for is 4 key projects. One of our major projects right now is currently we have here on the 6th floor, we have a couple of admin offices that we want to create back to a medical unit. Believe it or not, 15 years ago, it was a medical unit. And one of the things we need more here is more beds. As you can know, as President Donovan knows, and all of you know very well, the only borough that's growing in double digits, it's Elmhurst and Jackson Heights and Corona. We're growing more than we thought we could expect of growing. And with that growth, we need more beds, more med-surg beds. The reason why this unit is very important also is because we have a certain population that's very vulnerable, that where they don't fit into the behavioral health world, but they also don't fit in the regular medicine world. They're kind of in between. And these individuals are in a point where we can help them a lot. And we can help them not get to the crisis moment of becoming behavioral health patients. So this unit really is going to be the in-between of those patients that need a little bit more help than regular medical beds, and those that, they're not as crisis mode to belong in a behavioral health unit. So this unit, this new unit, will be about $12 million, but it's super needed because one of the major things we're starting to see here in our beloved borough of Queens is a crisis in mental health. And we're trying to get to these patients before they get into a crisis mode. So this unit will kind of be the in-between. So hopefully you can fund that, and that's about $12 million. The second project that we're working on is what we're calling Patient Safety and Modernization Initiative. We have a lot of old equipment here at Elmhurst that we need to make sure get upgraded. They're end their life. Everything that you can think of, from small machines, tubing equipment that keep transport patients alive in our patients, in our clinical care. We need to upgrade these machineries just to make sure that everything's okay. And believe it or not, that's the most affordable project we have. It's $4.5 million, but it's a list of equipment, about 17 pieces of equipment. So it's super important. Our third project, again, is something that we are really focusing on, especially after the pandemic. One of the major things that I feel, when you talk about wellness and making sure we move forward from the pandemic, is how we welcome people. Currently, both entrances of the hospital are very old. They haven't been renewed in a very long time. They're old. They don't show that welcome feeling. It doesn't feel modern. It doesn't feel deserving of the population that we serve. And I'm very big into when you walk through your doors of your home, you have to feel welcome, because it really starts with the hello. And currently our hello is very warming and hugging, but it looks old. We look like we belong in 1960s. And that's not the type of hospital we are. We're the care that we give is very innovative. The care that we provide is super excellent with our partners at Mount Sinai. So we're asking about their $4 million because we want to renovate not only the front of the hospital, but also all lobbies to make sure that it's a full feel of not only is the hospital safe, clean, and modern, but that also it matches our clinical expertise within our walls. And then lastly, I know this is a project our borough president loves, is to build on the 2 ORs that he gave us. I'm happy to report they're beautiful. You were here at the ribbon cutting, and now we want to have those 2 ORs to have the Da Vinci machine. One of the major things that the Da Vinci machine does is bring surgical robotics into our hospital. We were one of the first hospitals to have robotics here, but that machine, we got it in the late or mid 1980s. It's time to get an upgrade and get a second one. So we're asking for 2.8 million for that robotic machines to put in that beautiful new OR that you were able to fund last year, President Donovan. So hopefully you'll fund that as well to get this machine. And also, again, we need to start, one of the things I'm really focusing on, Elmer's, is that we need to match the clinical expertise to the walls, to our entrances, to the feeling that we provide here at Elmer's. I think one of the major things that we're trying to do both at Elmer's and at Queens is making sure that when the patient comes through our doors, that they feel and experience and get amazing clinical care. But in order to do that, I need to upgrade some machinery. I need to get this Da Vinci machine in my ORs because it's an equity issue. And I really need to build this new surgical unit on the 6th floor to help relieve some of the behavioral health mental crisis that we're going to experience really soon in our beloved borough of Queens. I know you have my full report with the full details submitted, but again, I really want to thank you, President Donovan, and everyone here in the Borough Hall. I mean, I've always felt the love to Elmer's Hospital during the pandemic, but I really want to thank you for really showing up for this hospital and for our health system. I mean, we treat the most vulnerable communities here, and I've always felt part of your leadership, part of the administration, even though I'm not. I've always felt that whenever we needed support, you were there for us, everything from, the small stuff to the big stuff. So I really want to thank you for that. And I hope and I look forward to working on these projects with you in the next fiscal year.
Thank you. And I, of course, want to thank Elmhurst Hospital, all of our healthcare sheroes and heroes, who not only through the pandemic, but even through this time, continue to serve the most vulnerable. You know how we feel about your hospital, about all of the dedicated public servants in it. So we'll definitely take a look at these items and get back to you. And do you have a status report on the NICU?
Oh, so that is going out to bid. We're looking for construction companies to pull that out. So that's already have gone through.
Okay,
so hopefully
great.
we'll be breaking ground on that soon.
All right, awesome. And then and your highest priority on this list is what?
I would say,
I know you have but if you had to pick one, what was
if I had to pick
number
one, I would have to
Yeah.
say the unit. I know that's a big ticket item, but because right now
Okay.
it's a health crisis that we're going through, we have a lot of patients that are in between. And I really am trying to get to those patients before they get to become behavioral health patients. So we need
Okay,
like a
got it.
unit for those in between patients.
So that's the inpatient, the 12 million.
Yeah.
Okay, got
And
it.
then
Okay.
second would be my robotics machine.
Second would be robotics. Okay. Got it. All right. Well, thank you
everybody.
for your dedication. We love you here. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Next, we're going to go to the second panel, Kate Farley, Self-Help Community Services.
Oh, my video isn't starting, but can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I will try
It's
to
all right.
hopefully it will open up there. Well, let me get started. I know that your time is limited. I'm sorry that the camera isn't working. Thank you so much for the opportunity to testify today. My name again is Katie Foley from Self-Help Community Services. And as a reminder, we're a nonprofit serving 25,000 older and vulnerable adults each year, the majority of whom live in Queens. In Queens, we have 8 affordable senior housing residences, home health care, specialized services for Holocaust survivors, and community-based services at 5 older adult centers, 4 NORCs, Queens North Case Management, our virtual senior center, as well as community guardianship and adult protective services. And we're the Queens New York Connects provider. Our overarching goal is helping our community age with independence and dignity. And today I want to highlight 4 areas of need within the self-help community. First, our transportation program provides free round-trip rides to medical appointments for seniors. And in recent years, we've seen a huge increase in requests for transportation. Through the generosity of various council members, including Councilmember Holden and Palladino and Ung and the speaker, we've been able to provide thousands of rides for older adults in Queens. But unfortunately, every year we have to turn people away because there's not enough funding to meet the needs of all older adults across the borough requesting rides. So we thank those that have funded the program this fiscal year, and we hope to see a renewed commitment in the next fiscal year to come to try to meet the need of older adults across the whole borough. Secondly, Self-Help operates the oldest and largest program providing comprehensive services for Holocaust survivors in North America, caring for 5,400 survivors each year. And we respectfully request continued support, especially through the Elie Wiesel Holocaust Survivor Initiative out of the council. About half of the survivors served at Self-Help live at or below the poverty line. And although the overall number of survivors is declining, their needs grow in number and complexity as they age. The average age of survivors we serve is 88, and nearly 1,000 new survivors come to us for the first time each year in need of assistance. So they need more than one-time financial assistance or just a referral for meals. They need a comprehensive assessment by a social worker to provide wraparound services for benefits and entitlements, home care, referrals, financial assistance, social programs, and Self-Help is uniquely positioned. So I want to quickly, I know my time is running up here, quickly mention our Alzheimer's Resource Program receives vital support through the Social Adult Daycare Initiative, and our Benjamin Rosenthal Prince Street Innovative Older Adult Center in Flushing, which serves thousands of older adults and provides hundreds of culturally competent meals every day, including Saturdays, receives support through the Senior Centers Programs and Enhancements Initiatives. So thank you so much, Borough President, for your continued support and coming out to meet our clients at our older adult centers and at the Passover Seders, et cetera, for survivors. And thank you to the council members and community boards for their support as well. So thank you for our opportunity to testify today.
And do you have a specific request for us?
So the transportation request is something we would like to expand borough-wide. That would be our top priority there. And then any additional support for our Holocaust survivor program. And I did submit written testimony as well that has a little bit more detail, but the Holocaust survivor program serves so many survivors, many of whom in our program, it's a citywide program, but many of whom live in Queens, many of whom are Russian speakers, and we do have wait lists for those programs. So any support for transportation and Holocaust survivors would be at the top of our list.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for the work. All righty. Next, we're going to Glail Mutheran Community Foundation.
Hello, hi. Thank you so much for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Glail Matherin, the founder of the Glail Matherin Community Foundation, also known as GMCF, a 501c3 organization located in Queens, New York. I am also a member of the QBP nonprofit network. I have a passion for helping people in my community, and as a first-generation immigrant and minority from Haiti, I have used my background to connect with many other underrepresented individuals who share similar challenges in New York City. In April 2022, I founded my nonprofit to empower the minority youth of New York City with newfound opportunities through various forms. Today, my nonprofit provided workforce development programs such as resume building assistance and job matching sessions. We partnered with Google to host a virtual resume building workshop for CUNY students. We hosted community events such as back-to-school drives, excuse me, and toy drives. We donated over 100 backpacks, school supplies, and toys in 2022 and 2023 to children in the Queens community. Lastly, in 2022, we were able to award a scholarship to a single mother caring for a special needs child while attending Hospice Community College and evading homelessness. And in 2023, our scholarship recipient was a first-generation student attending Queens College while providing for her family back in Texas. I am requesting $10,000 from Queens Borough President's discretionary fund to provide scholarship for CUNY students. The amount I am requesting will go straight to the scholarship fund, and in the summer of 2024, will be given to multiple outstanding students who are enrolled full-time as a sophomore, junior, or senior at any CUNY college, who currently have a GPA of 3.5 or higher, who is able to demonstrate leadership abilities and a financial need. Our scholarship fund puts less strain on the selected scholars so that they can focus on their studies without the worry of not being able to pay their tuition bill. With about 60% of New York City college students reporting annual household income of less than $30,000, GMCF wants to make it easier for these youths to finish college and earn a degree that can help them and their families out in the long run. Our scholarship fund is made to give those who are underprivileged a chance to thrive, not just survive. Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce the Glyle Mathering Community Foundation and its scholarship fund to you for funding consideration. I appreciate the support you provide to the Queens community. God bless and have a great day.
Thank you so much. And do you have do you have a specific catchment area you focus on in Queens?
Currently it's for all boroughs in in New York City.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you're doing. All right, next we'll hear from Diane Woodburn, JASA Legal Services for Elder Justice.
Good morning. My name is Diane Woodburn, and I'm the Legal Services Supervisor for JASA Legal Services for Elder Justice, or as we're fondly known as the Justice League. Thank you, Borough President Donovan Richards Jr. and the Queens delegation for both this opportunity to provide testimony regarding our request for funding and for the $50,000 in funding that we received last year. I'll tell you a little bit about JASA. Since 1981, JASA's Legal Services Program has provided free civil legal services to Queens County residents aged 60 and older with the greatest social and economic need. We provided in such vital areas as preventing evictions, foreclosures, homelessness, and stopping elder abuse. We are the only provider of legal services in Queens that focuses solely on the legal problems of older adults. LSEJ is seeking to once again receive $50,000 in funding as we continue to be inundated with older tenants and homeowners facing eviction and homelessness, many of whom cannot access the courts and other services. These older persons are still in need of reasonable accommodations, including access to technology. Without proper funding and services, we are afraid these older adults will continue to fall between the cracks. Requested funds will enable the Justice League to continue its work with the Office of Court Initiatives and Court Administration to provide coordinated outreach, home visits, legal and social services, walk-in clinics, and arrange reasonable accommodations, including remote access for these litigants. The U.S. population of older adults increased 38.6% in just 10 years. Focusing on our borough with almost 523,000 older adults, almost 31% of the Queens population, 60 and older, our most vulnerable, are living below 200% of the poverty line. They need coordinated outreach and legal efforts to protect their rights, and we need continued funding. Thank you for your consideration of our clients' needs and our funding requests. We deeply appreciate your ongoing support and look forward to continuing to be a resource for the borough and older adults throughout New York City. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, JASA, for all that you do. Look forward to continuing the work, the support. And we also are joined by representation from CB7, Councilmember Gennaro's office, and we're joined by Chair Sherry Algretto, CB9. Now we'll go to RDR, Kevin Alexander. Thank you, Dion.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Kevin Alexander, and I am the president and CEO of Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corporation, located in Far Rockaway, Queens. We are a 45-year-old not-for-profit organization that has 5 primary focus areas: youth development, adult workforce and career development, business assistance, housing, homeownership assistance, and commercial revitalization services. RDRC's programs and services impact over 3,000 clients and participants annually, and several of our fiscal year 2023 highlights include the launch of a Fiscal Academy, IT Essentials training course, a fully revitalized and renovated Spectrum Learning Center, and awarding of $20,000 in investments of scholarships to high school students. We've also created a pitch competition to support local MWBEs through our Queens Streetwise MBA program. And most recently, we actually were the first in state to receive for downtown Far Rockaway, the New York Forward Capital Grant in the amount of $4.5 million. Our 2 capital requests focus on: 1, the continuing efforts to support the creation of the Rockaway's Music, Arts, and Cultural Center, a $3.4 million project that will focus on arts, culture, and entertainment and performing arts in downtown Far Rockaway. And the second is for a new development initiative, which is the Far Rockaway Tech Incubator Project, that we like to extend with the work that the Queens Borough President's Office is doing right now, along with the Deputy Borough President as well. So we've actually identified a space in downtown Far Rockaway, 2nd floor space, and we like to create another tech hub in downtown Far Rockaway as the ongoing efforts to revitalize downtown Far Rockaway and surrounding areas. Those 2 requests are for $2 million. And we also have an expense request because we always need capacity to manage these projects. And we're asking for about $75,000 for a part-time project manager and feasibility study for the downtown Far Rockaway Tech Center. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Queens Borough President Donovan Richards and team as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for your testimony. And I know last year we ran into issues around feasibility with OMB, I think. So are you working through those issues? I think Iraq tried to work through some of them in terms of capital eligibility. So, in terms of these, you need to make sure you're working extremely closely with Iraq to make sure that, yeah, so beforehand, yeah.
All right, thank you.
But definitely, these are great projects.
Thank you again.
Thank you. All right. All righty, now we're going to go to Dorothy Carter, Destiny Bound.
Good morning. Thank you, Borough President Richards and the entire Queens delegation for your time. My name is Dorothy Carter. I am the Vice President of Destiny Bound Incorporated. Destiny Bound was established in 2020 as an IRS 501c3 and is dedicated to improving the quality of life in our community, serving marginalized communities in New York State, including the Bronx, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. We implement short and long-term initiatives for individuals aged birth to 24 in single-parent households. Our mission is to uplift, unify, and strengthen the community relationships and youth development through education and information. Guided by the philosophy, it takes a village, we acknowledge and address the daily challenges faced by our youth, adapting our organization to meet their needs. Comprising volunteers from diverse backgrounds who share a common goal of uplifting others. Destiny Bound currently has 7 board members operating with transparency and adherence to IRS rules, regulations, and our conflict of interest policy. Some of our initiatives include backpack blessings, book bags and school supplies, cozy toes, socks given to veterans, the spirit of giving out food and toys, undies in need, providing undies to all in need, staying dry, diapers and wipes are provided to parents in need. Let's Get Eating focuses on food stability, sustainability, health food and food care. Let's Get Moving, physical activities, yoga. Destiny Bound is respectfully requesting discretionary expense funding totaling $4,500 for our Let's Get Move Eating program, integrating the Let's Get Moving and Let's Get Eating initiatives, aligned to address food insecurity and encourage healthier living through exercise This intergenerational program takes place one Saturday per month in Jamaica, Queens. It includes sessions with professionals such as nutritionists, dietitians, social workers, physical trainers, dance and yoga instructors, emphasizing healthier lifestyle habits. Participants will also learn to cultivate fresh vegetables and fruits. Destiny Bound aims to provide non-perishable, nutritious food items, fostering self-sufficiency. Partner organizations will attend offering resources on assessing food assistance. Funds from the Queens Borough Presidents will support Destiny Bound in acquiring canned food, dry goods, fresh fruits, vegetables, seeds, soil, indoor hydroponics, growing system kits, mats, jump ropes, hula hoops. Let's Get Move Eating strives to educate our neighbors on self-improvement and community betterment. This program enables Queens residents to socialize, engage in physical activity, make informed food choices, connect with their community, and access local resources. This program seeks to touch over 150 families. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for all you continue to do.
Thank you.
All righty. I'm going to call the next panel. I'm going to go to Seth Bornstein, Queens Economic Development Corporation. Oh, he stepped out. So we'll go to Rosemary Lopez, Aid Center of Queens County, ACQC.
Rosemary Lopez, Executive Director of ACQC.
Just turn your mic on. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm Rosemary Lopez, the Executive Director of ACQC. I think this is the first time we're presenting here and asking. I want to thank all of you for listening to us and thinking about funding us this year for what I'm going to present. ACQC has 32 programs throughout Queens. We've been in existence since 1984. Unfortunately, this year, we have not been able to break even in many of our programs. One in particular is that we have 50 transitional beds in 184 apartments. Due to the immigrant crisis and the asylum seekers, they're coming through without benefits. So we have been able to, no food, no benefits. So luckily I have an affiliate who's been funding me and giving me $10,000 a month just on the transitional beds to be able to feed people. Because at this point, the transitional beds do not cover food. Even though they send everybody to ACQC that needs food, they don't cover food. And the new grants coming out through HRA, there's no food in those grants. And we're getting immigrants coming in that need to be fed. They're coming in, they have no food stamps, we're getting them benefits. So it's a real issue. Now, currently, I was able to get another 100,000 donated to me, especially during COVID. We have 200 people a day at our sites needing food. This is a big issue. We are the hub of people coming in. We were the only ones open during COVID. It was desolate streets, but we were feeding people and delivering food to their homes. The other piece, we're losing at least 500,000 a year just in our housing services. The grants do not cover all of the housing. So this is why I'm here. We're trying to, obviously, we've been able to, at this point, stay afloat. I'm hearing from my funders that, or my people that are giving to me, they don't know how much they can give next year. And our grants are not covering it. So that's why we wrote it all. We didn't ask for a specific number. But I know that I come to your office, we work hand in hand. If there's anything that can be done, the community, the clients would service from anything. Thank you.
Thank you for your work. And let me ask you, are you getting referrals?
Oh my gosh, yes. We permanently house homeless individuals between 15 to 20 a month. Referrals are constantly coming in through HASA, constantly.
Okay.
But
even from the migrant?
Even from the migrants, and there's no food with the migrants, but they send them to us knowing that no matter what, we're going to feed them.
Right.
Okay. That's where we've been. But thank you for your time.
Thank you for what you do.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we're going to go now to Seth Bornstein, QEDC.
Perfect timing. Just got in and literally like we told me
Morning, I'm Seth Bornstein, Director of Queens Economic Development Corporation. For 47 years, we've stayed true to our mission, helping people with low-income communities, women, minorities, immigrants, realize
Mic's on.
and realize the entrepreneurial aspirations through many of our programs. But the one-on-one counseling is really what we do, helping people start the program. We have classes, but we have a list of 12, we call advisory business counselors who really work one-on-one with our clients. Since the last 10 years, we've worked with the 6,800 people, more than that, have started their small businesses through our Entrepreneurial Assistance Center, the Women's Business Center, where we help 400 women a year. We also certify people to become MWBEs. This year, the last year, as you know, major projects have been Corona Plaza. Well, July was a mess. We signed a contract with DOT. We've taken it over. We started the vendor project, probably during the worst weather of the year for a vendor in the middle of December and January. But we have 15 vendors there every day, 5 days a week. And we are working with them to work in the kitchen, the entrepreneur space, a commercial kitchen, which took some doing with the city Department of Health. But we're licensed now as a commissary for vendors. And the vendors now are cooking legally and safely, which is really important. We look forward to this being a model for the rest of New York City for the vendor community. And it was a major lift on many people's parts, including your office. We're still looking for funding to make it permanent. That's going to take a lot of work. And we also do a lot of work also with entrepreneurs and tech entrepreneurs. As the Deputy Borough President knows, she's been a champion of our Queens Tech and Innovation Challenge, helping people to develop the business who are really beginning, immigrants, young people. I was at the event last Saturday where we had 500 young people, I guess it is, who really work on this. And we're very excited to continue that program. The thing we need, obviously, the office supports us with expense budget funding, which is great. More importantly for us is your advocacy with city agencies, state agencies. Sometimes they don't get it. Having the borough president be our advocate and have our back to get the funds we need from them is crucial. So I implore you to work with us on that as we go forward in the year. And like I said, we have our beautiful new annual report, which matches our calendar.
Swag.
We're commemorating the 60th anniversary of the World's Fair, which is Houston understanding. Haven't got there yet, but we hope.
Yep.
Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Seth. Thank you for the work and your partnership truly and stepping up to the plate. Every time we've asked you to work with us on complicated matters, especially, we really are appreciative of that partnership.
And having worked with 6 borough president administrations since 1979, I don't mean this to be patronizing, but I'm working with you and your staff has been the best. I really mean that sincerely. And I just want to share one thing. You know, in walk through the halls of Borough Hall, your office, it reflects the borough in every way. It's never done that. Certainly 47 years ago, it was guys like me. I mean, literally just men like me, not women, very few minorities. It's so refreshing and the way the future should be in this borough.
Thank you. Thank you, Seth. Means a lot coming from you. All right, next we're going to hear from Friends of Maple Grove. Carl? Our neighbor.
Across the street. Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, you know Maple Grove. You went and visited us on Memorial Day last year. So we're happy to have you and gave you the tour. My name is Carl Blinas. I'm the president of the Friends of Maple Grove. And we are a unique, I think, for Queens, a non-profit organization that dwells on the past, our ancestors. And we have been in existence for 15 years and working with a 149-year-old cemetery. Next year, we're 150. Ooh. So, and we've become pretty much a cemetery, who knew, a cultural center for Queens. And last year we had 55 events, including tours, lectures, and workshops and concerts. We have the only concert hall in the world, I believe, at a cemetery. And we also are a sponsor, as a not-for-profit, we're a sponsor for Scout Troop 177. And they help us with conducting military events for those buried at Maple Grove, the veterans. But we also have 78 we discovered who were killed in action in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan. And we have over 120,000 burials, and we're trying to tell their stories of each one. And they do cover a great period of American history. And we're trying to bring history alive for future generations through our programs. And I do not want to go over the past events that we did or even go over the future ones. I just want to focus on 2 events, and we do send you the flyers on everything that we have. But I want to ask you again if you could come to the Memorial Day weekend with our Troop 177 and help read off names of the 78 who were killed in action in those wars that I mentioned. The other important thing is May 5th. And even though the Cinco de Mayo, that is the unveiling of a monument and a tombstone for the father and son assistants of Nikola Tesla. They are buried there with an unmarked grave, and through a number of organizations, we are going to unveil a monument for them, as we did for Louis Latimer in Oak Grove Cemetery. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you're doing. All righty. Next, we'll go to Judith Foley, Earsay. Sloan. Okay, Judith Sloan. Okay. Okay, no problem.
Hello. I think I've met some of you at different things. This is the first time that we're really officially coming before you to ask for funding and support. So I'm not sure what the budget constraints are. And we hand wrote some things on here that I'll give you, and maybe we can follow through. So I'm going to not read this. I'm going to just use it as bullet points. Earsay comes in your ear, swirls around your head, and comes out your mouth somehow. We're an arts project. So while we're not infrastructure for food and roads and buildings, we work with newly arrived immigrant youth through a partnership with the LaGuardia, with the International High School at the LaGuardia Community College. And as you all know, that there have been a huge influx of new children, teenagers. We need more artists with multiple languages so that we can do a kind of, what we're doing now, right now, is podcasting with students and looking at how we can not just translate, but interpret, because there's a difference between translating word for word and interpreting and understanding where you are and where you can possibly go. And so that is about the future of Queens. Where are these teenagers going to go? How can we situate them in places where they can function, have skills, but also tell their stories? And we think that art is food of a different sort, that it's nurturing in a way. We have 3 projects that we're doing. It's cross-cultural dialogue through the arts with immigrant youth. We're doing a project that's originated in Jamaica, Queens, in a partnership with the Jamaica Performing Arts Center called It Can Happen Here, which is about a hair salon in Queens where there's a white, Indian, African-American, Mexican DACA recipient, 5 different women who all come together, and you hear their stories about what they're dealing with in the neighborhood. And I think that's very unique to Queens, that people live next to each other in certain areas, especially in southeastern and eastern Queens. And so that project is being built and ongoing. And our newest project that we're still waiting for some funding is called This Is Not a Drill. And it's about climate issues. And Queens is built on a lot of landfill, and it used to be canals. So I think that Queens is the only place where a homeowner had a sinkhole. You know, when you look at like Flushing Park, it's a sponge. So we've been interviewing people about climate issues. How do people feel even personally about dealing with it? And it's a collaboration between a Jewish American artist and African American artist looking at what are the disparities in how people's neighborhoods get impacted. And Andrew Griffin is the musician on it, and he is living in Ridgewood, Queens, and he also works on Broadway. But one of the things in his in the text here is that he was saying that as a young Black man, he rarely is in spaces where the assumption is that young Black men are discussing climate issues. The stereotype of what the media is talking about. And it's really been interesting going into neighborhoods and saying, what can you do? What do you think we should do? And so we want to partner with organizations that are dealing with climate issues in Queens, doing small performances and having dialogues and making some kind of impact of what human beings can do. So we know it's not food and it's not beds and it's not buildings, but it is feeding the heart and soul of young people and of a very mixed, as you can see from this description, group of artists. And in this completely contentious moment, having Jewish, Puerto Rican, Indian, Arab, Palestinian, Black artists collaborating and working together, we think that that's a very important thing for us to foster. And the funding would go to really supporting not only the artists, but somebody to help organize and administrate the stuff, which all of you know is a huge task. So I'll leave this with you with a few notes, and I will email to find out what is the budget possibility and should we submit a full budget.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. All right, next we're going to go to Anthony Massa, the new 42nd Street.
Thank you, Borough President, Deputy Borough President, and everyone for the opportunity to speak on behalf of New 42 and the New Victory Theater. At New 42, my name is Anthony Massa, the manager for institutional giving, and our mission is to make extraordinary performing arts a vital part of everyone's life from the very earliest years onward. Research has proven how early exposure to the arts can have a positive impact on the socio-emotional development of young people, and yet barriers to arts access still exist. At New 42, our programs, the Bring Your Family program and New Victory Education program, engage neighborhoods throughout Queens and New York City to create accessible, authentic pathways for young people to experience the true power of the performing arts. In partnership with NYCHA, our Bring Your Family program provided over 1,000 complimentary tickets to around 228 distinct families in NYCHA housing. Just last season, 143 of those were residents in Queens. The program also delivered in-person family arts activities to NYCHA sites so that young people could experience a more robust arts engagement right where they live. In fiscal year 24, we've already distributed tickets to NYCHA residents in Flushing, Fresh Meadows, Laurelton Woodside, and the number is growing, which is really exciting. Our education program brings free in-classroom arts education to around 150 school partners a year. 70% of those serve students in low-income neighborhoods. And in fiscal year 23, we served 20 schools in Queens, like the Louis Armstrong Middle School, Henry David Thoreau School, just to name a few. And for many of those students, our education program is the only in-school arts education that they receive during the year. So by providing this opportunity, we positively impact thousands of students each year. In fiscal year 25, we're requesting around $150,000 in speaker funds and making discretionary requests to districts throughout Queens, as well as the Queens delegation, to support our arts education program and to provide more free tickets to NYCHA residents. And also we'll be doing a ask to the Autism Awareness Initiative for our sensory-friendly performances. So thank you so much to everyone for continuing to support New 42 as we bring the joy of the performing arts to young people citywide. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. All right, next we're going to go to Karen Kine. Wajin Chi. Alzheimer's. Virtual.
All right, so I'm here. Good morning, President Richard and the board, and the Queens Borough Board. Happy New Year. Nice to see everyone here again. As everybody know that, and Kevin Kai, it is the organization serving for like the families and individuals affected by Alzheimer and related dementia. We have been in New York for more than 40 years. We are like the citywide, nationwide, and then even international-wide organization. But Queens is like the part of like the city, and we also provide the service focused on like the Chinese families. They are living in Queens. Everyone also know that Alzheimer is a special disease. For the human being, everyone can be affected. Even though you are lucky enough not to be a patient, but you may be a caregiver. So it means what? It means Alzheimer is affect everyone. It is the possibility to affect everyone. So thank you, Queens Borough President, the funding in the past few years is very helpful. We do provide the service, include support group, consultation service, and then also a lot of activity related to culture to support the people with the dementia. And then also with the funding, our service can serve more than 100 unduplicated Chinese Alzheimer families. And then we partner with Queens Library, CBC, AAFE, Self-Help, KCS, and then also flashing most of the adult daycare centers, senior centers. So we do provide a lot of service to the residents. They are living in Queens, and then they're affected by dementia. So I am looking for some fundings. The fundings from fiscal year 2025, 100,000. I would like to have 100,000 to continue support this service. Okay, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Wei Jin Xu, is the VP of Equity, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. All right, thank you, everyone. I hope everyone have a great 2024, and then we will continue to work together for the community. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you do. All right, next we're going to go to George Heslin, New York Irish Center.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, all. My name is George Heslin, and I serve as Executive Director here at New York Irish Center, located in Western Queens in Long Island City. I would like to thank Borough President Richards and the Queens City Council members for being here virtually, and thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the organization and our mission. Thank you to Queens Borough President and the Queens delegation for your continued financial support of our work here at New York Irish Center. Your investment through the discretionary funding process has been instrumental in our ability to serve our broad community and service users who live in a cross-section of communities here across Queens. The center was founded in 2004. It is Long Island City Community and Cultural Center dedicated to serving local Irish and immigrant populations of New York City. A mission-driven organization, New York Irish Center provides critical services to seniors, families, and audiences from diverse backgrounds while supporting cross-cultural dialogue and celebrating the traditional heritage of the city's long-standing Irish immigrant population. The centre serves as a gathering place and a community hub. The centre is 10,000 square feet and a 4-story facility, ADH compliant, and is highly accessible, located just 100 feet from the subway station, ensuring safe travels for our senior community. Within our mission, we provide free or highly subsidized space to 43 not-for-profit organizations and community service organizations. We're open 6 days a week, all year round, and our programs range from weekly senior lunches and social engagements, offerings to concerts, play readings, networking events, children's activities that showcase the rich cultural heritage of Ireland and beyond. We also serve local clients who are from diverse backgrounds and communities. True to our commitment of caring hospitality, the community is invited to be part of our vibrant life here at the centre. For the centre to maintain our vital programs and services in the coming year, I'm reaching out to you to ask for your support of your discretionary funding request of $25,000. We are a lifeline for the senior community and others. We offer access to meal service, mental and emotional support, and opportunities for social engagement. We continue to be an important resource for community providing frontline services. Last year, we welcomed approximately 25,000 people through our doors who engaged with our social services and cultural programs. Our programs offered comprehensive services for older adults, including a weekly lunch program, wellness checks, weekly movie program, weekly art classes, computer and technology classes, tax filing support, library services, social activities, and outings. We are privileged to own our own building in Long Island City, and thanks to a cross-section of community support, in 2017, we successfully paid off our mortgage. Our projected budget for FY25 is $900,000. We thank you for your renewed and, if possible, increased support for funding as we maintain our centre activities 365 days a year. We were deeply grateful if you would consider supporting the centre at the City Council discretionary allocation. In addition, I invite each of you to come to visit us to see our work in action. I'm also happy to come to your district offices to meet with your staff and share more about our services and programs. Wishing you all the very best for the year ahead. On behalf of our board and directors, staff and volunteers, thank you for your great support.
Thank you, George, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and supporting your efforts. Thank you for the important work you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Jonathan Chung, Pursuit. See him.
Actually, it's Jose Ortiz Jr. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Pursuit. How are you, sir?
Okay, got it. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning to Deputy Borough President as well and the board. It's wonderful to be here with you. My name is Jose Ortiz Jr. I'm the Vice President of Public Sector Innovation at Pursuit. On behalf of co-founder Juke Asu, thank you for the opportunity. Pursuit's mission is to create economic transformation. We train low-income adults to become software engineers and tech leaders. On average, Pursuit fellows go from earning $18,000 to over $90,000 after the first year of training. We are building an inclusive tech industry. All fellows are welcome into our program, and our low income, 70% are Black or Latinx, half are women or non-binary, 40% are immigrants, 60% do not have 4-year degrees, and half receive public assistance. Pursuit partners with top employers like Citi and Blackstone, as well as leading venture capital firms like Union Square Ventures to hire fellows. Since 2013, Pursuit has enabled 500 low-income adults to attain thriving careers in tech, unlocking $1 billion in lifetime wage gains. In 2012, we co-wrote the Queens Tech Zone Strategic Plan with the QBPO. Now is the time to realize the vision of a revitalized urban center in Western Queens with tech-driven growth, innovation, and opportunities for local talent. This is even more urgently needed with COVID's lingering impact on our communities. We are seeking $5 million in capital support to build the Queens Community Tech Hub. With 33,000 square feet, which accounts for the entire 33rd floor of the Altice building at One Court Square in Long Island City, we are creating an inclusive tech hub focused on community empowerment and public-private partnership. Nearly a third of the space will be flexible public event space and training rooms available for shared community partner use. In the next 5 years, this project will create 1,600 tech jobs for low-income New Yorkers. We have secured funds for a basic build-out to serve as our new headquarters. We need to fill a $5 million gap to renovate and outfit the flexible public event space and training facilities. We are seeking your support to create an ideal space that connects the best talent with the best companies. Help us build a true tech community that will catalyze inclusive economic growth for our borough. We hope to partner with your esteemed office on creating this innovative opportunity and inclusive tech hub for Queens. Thank you for your consideration. It's great to see you.
Well, thank you. And this 5 million to get you the full build out?
That's correct, sir.
And I am, let me just say, and I'm going to turn it over to our Deputy Borough President. You know, we are 100% committed and want to thank Pursuit also for being down in Jamaica. I feel like we must have had like 1,000 people Saturday attend our tech fair. And this is what we should be doing, really breaking down these barriers to tech, ensuring that diversity is centered, especially based on the numbers that we're seeing out there now. And I will tell you on the spot, we're committed to this 5 million. We have to build out this tech hub.
Absolutely.
I am 1,000% committed. And, you know, we traveled to Nigeria over the summer to also learn how they were diversifying their pool. And we know tech is the new gold, as our Deputy Borough President will say. And we need to be ahead of the curve here. We're so behind with AI and everything else happening. I think I read last night what Elon Musk put a chip in somebody's brain last night. Not to say that I want him to do that to me. We need to check what's going on with his brain some days, but that's another story for another day. We got to make sure these chips ain't messing people up. But the bottom line is we need to really move this industry into our communities, and the Queensbridge houses being there, with it being really that connectivity to transportation. This makes all the sense. And I want to thank Pursuit also for your partnership through the Queens Small Business Grant. We've been partners on many things, and I only see this as continuing to grow that partnership for inclusive economic growth, as you well so put it. So I look forward, and budget directors here, let's make sure everything is capital eligible, that you cross your T's, dot your I's, but not your first time at the rodeo. And we are 1,000% committed in a perfect location to full circle for us. So I will turn it over to the Deputy President.
I think he said it all. I think the only thing in addition to that is I just finished reading this morning that STEM jobs are on the brink of eclipsing Wall Street in the NYC economy. So I think this gives testament to that it is needed. Also in that report, it stated that unfortunately, Black and brown people are still at the bottom. And so I think this will help propel that, and that we could step into a future, and the future is bright in Queens. Queens is the future. Let's go.
Great. Thank you, Deputy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Jose, hello. Good to see you. Iraq here, budget director. Please shoot me an email so we can follow up on this and get to work.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. All righty. We're now going to go to Sophia Andromeda Community Initiative. Andromeda.
It's Andromeda. Thank you very much. My name is David Knightis. I'm the executive director of the Andromeda Community Initiative. And on my left is Sophia, our director of development and fundraising. Andromeda Community Initiative, we're grateful to be part of the Queens Borough President's nonprofit network. We are a workforce development and job training provider that specifically focuses on construction. And we train people in the hard skills and soft skills they need to succeed. This means certifications, OSHA, site safety training, suspended and supported scaffolding, silica. We also do green construction. We give people their EPA 608. We do G-Pro, and all to take people who normally wouldn't be in the world of construction and give them an entree into construction. Our clients are people who are emerging from homelessness. Our clients are people who are formerly incarcerated. Our clients stay with us for the long haul. And through a series of trainings, we accomplish the safety training they need to be eligible to work on construction sites in New York City and to build their confidence. It's really a great program for people who are in transition, because sometimes they're not convinced about their value to society. And when you focus on safety and you focus on keeping yourself and your colleagues and the public safe, you can make sure that the work that you're doing is positive and reaffirming and giving back to the community. We work with roughly 250 people a year. We're based here in Long Island City, Queens, New York. We have a wonderful hands-on center, which we would encourage you to come and visit. We can see it's a double-story high training environment that has both suspended and scaffolding, brickwork. Our board involves industry experts as well as people from the nonprofit community and other business leaders. And it's through that we're able to really work to give people their outcome of employment and then stick with them and do job placement and replacement beyond that. Because some of the criticism that can be leveraged at construction is sometimes jobs are episodic and you need to stick with people to find them the next opportunity. We'd be grateful for any support that you can give, and we thank you for your time today.
Thank you. And are you working with Queensbridge Houses or Woodside?
Yes.
Any of
yes.
those developments up there?
Absolutely. We happen to have a small grant from the El Nezi Foundation, which focuses us on those zip codes. So we definitely are doing recruitment from Queensbridge. And we partner with organizations like Urban Upbound to do that recruitment as well within the area.
Right. Also, great. And are you keeping up with the, and I know I was down in Queensbridge last night with the rezoning efforts. Are you keeping up with the process there?
Not maybe as much as I could and should. So I'd love to learn more about that through your office.
Yeah. So we just kicked off, I think last night with the second meeting. So I definitely want to connect with you on this and look forward to definitely placing a visit in the near future.
Excellent.
A lot of construction going to be happening. I mean, as it always is an LIC, but with this initiative, rezoning, we want to get ahead of it to make sure people are getting trained ahead of what we know is coming. So look forward to catching up.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll reach out.
Alrighty, thank you. We're joined by Dolores Orr, Chair of CB14, and Brian Block, Community Board 13 Chair. All right, we're now going to go to Dorothy Brown, Greater New York Council's Boy Scouts of America.
Good morning. Yes, I'm from the New York City Boy Scouts. My name is Dorothy, and we have about 3,000 boys and girls throughout Queens that we serve through scouting programs. Scouting is something that really helps level the playing field for kids. They've done studies on our alumni that, our kids have like double the college degrees, double the personal income of their peers from similar backgrounds. So there's a real impact, and after school programs are needed more than ever, particularly with all the budget cuts that schools are facing right now. So I wanted to talk today about our after school program, which is called Scout Reach, and that is partnering with public schools in Queens. Right now we have 4 programs in 3 schools, and we are asking for $10,000 to support the paid program leaders that we hire to work in these schools. The parents in these communities just don't have the capacity to volunteer the way some of our other neighborhoods do. And so Scout Reach steps in and provides the program right after school, really helps the parents. And so your program would help us with those leaders, which is the biggest cost of the program that we have. And with that, I wanted to kind of throw it to our Scout Reach director, Elisa, to describe the program in a little bit more detail.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. So right now we are currently in a couple of neighborhoods in Queens. We are right now in Elmhurst and just north of Corona, where we're serving the youth that needs the scouting program. Now, the scouting program, we're focused on developing academic skills for the kids, their self-confidence, their ethic, their leadership and citizenship skills, as well as giving them an outdoor experience that they may not have gotten as city kids. Our adult leaders, we pull them from LaGuardia, York, Queens College, and they're focused on an education degree, and they're getting an opportunity to work one-on-one with those kids to provide an amazing program throughout the city and throughout Queens. So we really are looking forward to any assistance that you can give. The cost of leadership costs anywhere upwards of $20,000 a year just to run the program specifically in Queens, not counting any other borough. So we're looking forward to any assistance that we can get.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the work that you do continuously and consistently.
If I may, BB. Lisa, can you repeat your last name for the record?
Sorry, Elisa Cadet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for all your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All righty. We're going to Gregory Coles, Flushing Meadows Soapbox Derby.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having us. Like I said, I'm Gregory Coles from the Flushing Meadows Soapbox Derby. We've been in existence for about 35 years. And what the soapbox is, it's a gravity-driven car that we help the kids produce through a STEM class. The STEM class runs with Bond College in cooperation. And what the STEM class does is it helps us build the cars and get the kids really excited about coming down the hill when we have a race for it. We started out doing it one time a year, which started out in June, but we had so many kids that's been so enthusiastic about trying to do it. So it's been expanding each year. So now instead of doing it one time a year, we do it 3 times a year. We do it in April, we do it in June, and we do it in October. And our April race is a battle of the boroughs. We get the boroughs to come out. Each car is built by each borough. We get like 10 cars. They come out and we help race the cars down the hill. It's located in Queens. And at the same time period, in June, we had the kids go to Akron, Ohio, which is the international race. And in Akron, Ohio, with the international race, people come from all around to try to race their cars. But at the same time period, we're trying to get our kids a little bit more involved in what we're doing so they understand the weights and the aeronautics of the cars and how the function of the cars. Because when you go with the international race, it takes a lot more for you to understand how the cars work. So what we're trying to do is trying to ask for a little bit more money to support the kids. We have so many kids that come out, and we just have to upgrade the cars as they go down the hill so we don't have any accidents. We had the Queens Borough President Donovan come out one time, and we also had an adult car that was there that we were using to go up and down the hill, and that's part of our fundraising. We understand that you can't support us going to Akron, Ohio, but I was just hoping that you could support the kids in our local race. They do come to the local race, and we give them awards at the end, and we have a luncheon. And at the luncheon, we show all the different parents who work with the kids in the workshops of what it's all about to build the car. And we're doing a relationship with parents and the kids together. So we like to try to keep that relationship and the coordination together to try to make it work. We appreciate your help from all these years. We've been working with the Queens Borough President at trying to do it. But at the same time, we'd like to bring that race to New York. So with some funds, we're asking for $25,000 to try to keep building the cars and repair the cars so the cars will be in good shape going up and down the hills. But we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Look forward to getting back out there, Greg. Thank you. All righty. We're going to go to Jose now, Dominico American Society of Queens. Tahara. Jose.
Yes, I'm Jose Murillo, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Distinguished elective official and everyone present. Again, my name is Jose Murillo, board member of the Dominican American Society of Queens, a nonprofit organization founded in 1993. For the past 31 years, our organization has worked closely with the low-income and immigrant residents in Queens County, mainly in Corona Heights, Jackson Heights, Amherst, and Amherst. During the last year, we have seen a large increase of decline, including the new arrivals coming from the southern border, many coming to our organization from all over looking for assistance that cannot be given to them in other places. The service we provide is the ability to learn and write English, job training, legal immigration services, citizenship classes, and young develop, and as well people coming to us that coming from another organization they refer to us. A key component of our organization is integrating our clients into our community and helping them build a better life. We want to give a low-income and immigrants of all ages the ability to learn something new, advance their life, or increase their contribution to our community. We listen to their needs and from them create new programming and courses. Each month, workshops are held in our sites such as health education, immigration, home buyers, seminars, and financial money orders. We are very proud to mention that we have seen our green card holder member become U.S. citizen at the rate of 1,200 a year. That's a lot because the people that have the green card, they want to become a citizen, and they come to us and we help them. Dominican Americans out of Queens citizen class are so popular that not just from Queens County, but from other borough, and waiting to get a waiting list. And that's why we have a big list, a waiting list for that. We demand our service is extremely high and current financial as well. A political atmosphere has kept from being able to give back even more. We need your assistance to keep our organization not only functioning, working as a current level, but also to expand. We are also understaffed, which limited the service that we must provide to the number of people we walk into our office daily asking for help. Know that potential voters are constantly becoming part of the democratic process and rest of the family immigrating of all ages. We are asking Queens Borough President for $60,000 to achieve the following: assist participants to learn, improve their English, assist adult participants obtain computers and job skill, assist eligible green card holders to become a citizen, assist those who immigration concern other than citizen by providing access to our immigration lawyer who can work on the side, provide immigration workshop as the new law and legislation, especially from the new arrivals. If granted, fund will be used for our expenses, including teachers, service providers, staff, salary, rent, and utilities and supplies. Queens is our home, and is for this reason we are asking to Queens delegation member to help us, your neighborhood improve our community. We want our residents to be able to learn English, have computer skills, and become a United States citizen. Thank you for you taking the time to your busy schedule to hear our Queens Vice President budget hearing testimonial on behalf of the many residents in need Great Borough, Queens County. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Jose Morillo from Dominican Americans out of Queens.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to Jeffrey Younger, Shalom Task Force.
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you to President Richards and the entire office at the Queens Borough President's Office. My name is Jeffrey Younger. I'm the Director of Communications and Program Operations for Shalom Task Force. We are a response to domestic violence serving the Jewish community through our 3 core services, one being a confidential anonymous hotline. We have free legal services, and we have our prevention education services. Shalom Task Force was started 30 years ago this year. If anyone's around, we have our big 30th anniversary coming up in 2 weeks, by a pediatrician in Far Rockaway who was noticing many clients' parents coming into his practice with clear signs of domestic abuse. When he started looking into it further, it turns out all Jewish identifying victim survivors of domestic abuse were sent to one shelter on Far Rockaway because there was a Orthodox Jewish social worker employed there who was able to get them the services they needed, whether that be kosher food or access to other Jewish institutions. When he heard this, he couldn't believe that there were enough people, victim survivors within the Jewish community, that they would need to all go to shelter. And he ended up going to other community members and said, I don't know you, you don't know me, but there's a job to do in our community, and we're the ones that have to do it. And by the end of that meeting, Shalom Task Force was started. We started as a confidential hotline. Last year in 2023, we took just over 650 calls across New York City. Being anonymous, it's hard for us to track exactly where our callers are coming from. Mostly comes from self-identification or based on where they ask for referrals. And for most people, the first time they're able to disclose that what is going on in their relationship, and they're able to just talk and get support, and are able to determine their next steps through their process. Our next service, we have a free legal project. This year, we started our work at the Queens Family Justice Center. We helped Queens residents with over 655 legal services from order of protection to full representation this year. Through that step, we never want finances to be a barrier for people to live safe lives. And our final program we run is our prevention education services starting in high school. We go across to community professionals, community leadership, clergy, mental health professionals to provide culturally competent education to help prevent people from getting into abusive relationships or help educate community leaders on how to best support their community members who may be suffering within abusive relationships. And in February coming up, which is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, we'll be running Go Purple Days across Jewish high schools across the 5 boroughs with the help of our teen leadership programs, the Purple Fellowship, which we train Jewish teenage high school students across the 5 boroughs in becoming advocates in this cause. We've been grateful for the support from the Queens Borough President's Office historically, and we hope to continue receiving that support this year to continue our services. Thank you.
Thank you for the important work you continue to do. Thank you. All right, next we'll go to AAF's SC, Noor Mensa. Noor.
Hello. I would like to begin by thanking the Queens Borough President Richards for holding this hearing and inviting community-based organizations to testify. My name is Nora Mensa, and I am the Development Associate at the Arab American Family Support Center. At the Arab American Family Support Center, we have dedicated ourselves to creating an inclusive safe haven for immigrants and refugees since '94. We promote well-being, prevent violence, and prepare families to learn, work, and succeed. Our organization serves all who are in need, but with over 30 years of experience, we have gained cultural and linguistic competency serving New York's growing Mensa, that's Arab, Middle Eastern, Muslim, and South Asian communities. As a culturally and linguistically competent, trauma-informed organization, AFSC has expanded to offer services at 13 service locations across each of the 5 boroughs, with 3 of those being in Queens. Our staff speaks over 20 different languages, including Arabic, Bangla, Hindi, Spanish, and Urdu, enabling us to serve populations that mainstream providers struggle to reach. As countless members of AAFSC community grapple with the uncertainty of their families' safety and well-being in their home countries and confront deep-seated historical trauma reignited by the events over the past several months, the local climate of the hostility in New York City and nationwide adds an additional dimension of distress to the already precarious emotional state of our communities. As immigrants and refugees across New York City face heightened discrimination, hate crimes, and acute financial insecurity, they are turning to trusted community-based resources like AAFSC for support. As the demand for linguistically accessible and culturally responsive programs like ours grow, our services are consistently at capacity. We are committed to remaining a resource for immigrant and refugee communities, but cannot do it without the city's ongoing support. AAFSC requests that the Queens Borough Board and Borough President Richards support our request for expanded discretionary funding so that the Arab American Family Support Center can adequately support those with the most pressing needs. In particular, we request an increased investment in adult literacy through the Adult Literacy Initiative and Pilot Initiative. AAFSC allocation for this initiative has enabled us to make critical investments to our long underfunded adult education and literacy program. We request an increased investment in DOVE initiative so that we can continue to support to meet the 40% increase in demand for our domestic violence case management support. We request $45,000 for our mental health program. This year, AFSC offered direct mental health counseling to over 200 clients, making around 2,700 sessions. As our agency is one of the only providers offering free mental health counseling in languages like Bangla, Arabic, and Urdu, we receive hundreds of our external referrals and often have extensive wait lists. We request that initiatives that center the well-being and empowerment of marginalized communities are prioritized and increased in the budget for the upcoming year. These include DOVE, the Culture Immigrant Initiative, the Immigrant Survivors of Domestic Violence Initiative, in the Young Women's Leadership Development Initiative and Access Health. Finally, we request that city funding solicitations and decisions prioritize cultural competency and language accessibility. Amid the landscape of heightened discrimination, hate crimes, and social isolation, AAPI and the Mensa communities are seeking out trusted community-based resources now more than ever. We hope we can count on the Honorable VP Richards and the Queens Borough Board members' continued support to ensure that we can remain an accessible resource to the immigrant and refugee communities who have come to rely on AFSC after 30 years of service. Thank you for your attention. As always, the Arab American Family Support Center stands ready to work with you, ensuring the most vulnerable among us can thrive.
Thank you for your work, and I couldn't think of a more important time for this work to happen based on what we're seeing here in Queens. I often remind people that we've seen the largest influx of migrants out of every borough, with over 40,000 migrants in our care. And really the solution is having community-based organizations at the table doing this work who are culturally competent. So I want to thank you for your work, and of course, look forward to continuing to work to support your efforts. Thank you for your testimony. All right, next we're going to go to Makai Dicker, Sienna.
Thank you. Good morning, Borough President Richards and members of the panel. Thank you so much. It's great to be back before you all representing my organization, Sienna. Sienna has been working diligently for nearly 18 years to support vulnerable immigrant communities. In response to the ongoing influx of asylum seekers, we are requesting $100,000 to open an asylum seeker welcome center and provide essential legal services. Asylum seekers come to Sienna from several shelters near our office in Astoria, as well as from HERCs and respite centers as far away as JFK Airport, few of which, if any, provide any social or legal services. Coming mainly from West Africa and Latin America, shelter residents, single adults and families alike, are often forced outside during the day due to shelter rules. After 30 to 60 days, they have no choice but to sleep on the streets, often in dangerously cold weather. Just last night, I got a frigid weather alert, dangerous for people who have nowhere to sleep indoors. Awareness of Sienna has spread widely among shelter residents and staff across the city. Yet in spite of limited funding and very limited space, we have seen up to 40 asylum seekers per day at our office. We have served over 460 asylum seekers since the summer, with 250 just since December. In many ways, we have reached capacity, but true to Sienna's mission, we wish to expand it. We want to open a welcome center, a warming center in the winter, a cooling center possibly in the summer, during our office hours in a vacant space right above our office, where asylum seekers would be sheltered from inclement weather and would be offered legal consultations and assistance. Clients would have access to essential amenities such as a shower, refreshments, a computer, electrical outlets, a television, as well as Sienna services in a supportive and caring environment. Currently, we are only able to offer brief legal screenings and outside referrals. Funding is urgently needed to expand our legal program to provide newcomers with free asylum consultations and work authorization assistance in our prospective new space. The presence of asylum seekers in shelters, in the subway, and on the streets has raised concerns about cleanliness, public safety, crime, and mental health in New York City. The requested funding for our Welcome Center and its accompanying legal services will address these concerns directly by providing newcomers with space that is safe, clean, and welcoming. It will keep them off the streets, ensure a safer community, and offer our city's newest arrivals a more promising future. Over the last year and a half, we've had the privilege to attend a number of your events. We'll be here at Borough Hall actually in March for another event. So we're grateful for the work you've already done to support the community. And we hope you'll also support Sienna's pocket of the community that we serve as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And is this a capital or expense ask?
So this is expense. It's for the services provided in the space. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for your work, and thank you for your partnership. You know, it's easy for people to say, why don't these folks just disappear? But it's harder to actually do the work, and we do the work here. So I want to thank you for your partnership.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All righty. Our next panel, we're going to Valerie Green, Dance Entropy.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Borough President Richards and panel for having me here today. I'm Valerie Green. I'm Executive Director of Dance Entropy. We are a dance not-for-profit founded in 1998, and we moved to Long Island City, Queens in 2005 because there was nothing serving the dance community in quite the way that we do. So I built it and hoped that they would come, and they sure have. So we have different parts of our organization, the professional performing company, which performs all over with our home base in Queens. We are really rooted in the community and sharing our artistic work. We also have our Studio Green Space, which is in Long Island City. It is a home of renters creating work that is shown throughout the city. We have 333 unique renters per year, of which 70% are from Queens. We have performance series which nurture artists in different phases of their career, and have the Take Root in Fertile Ground series. And it is really great work that's offered to the community that is accessible and affordable. And what I think is one of the most important things we do is our educational outreach, and that is working in the public schools, working with at-risk youth, working with aging adults. And we do a lot of work with movement, healing, and trauma. And we partner with many different organizations, many of which are on this panel. And the Arab American Services was one we worked with last year. And with all that's being said, with the migrant crisis and the need for mental health support, the basis of the support that I'm asking for is to help get those services more out in the community, to have more partnerships, new partnerships, and provide the much needing healing work through movement that we can get to people in need. So I want to just close it up by saying thank you for your support this past year. It's been meaningful and we hope to continue it. And the Dance Entropy is like no other organization in Queens for dance, to have a company, outreach programs, and performance programs. We are one of a kind, and we hope to have your continued support. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. All righty, next we'll go to the Queens Film Festival. Ms. Sharma.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Mridul Sharma. I am the president and CEO of Queens Film Festival, INC. We are a 501c3 nonprofit film festival run by local filmmakers, highlighting the next generation of filmmakers, celebrating the strong diversity of Queens, from the art of filmmaking to its history and the evolution of storytelling. There has never been a film festival like ours that represents all of Queens, with a mission to promote Queens as a hub for filmmaking and economic development. This is going to be our very first year. We are requesting discretionary funding for $30,000. That will largely be for operations that will help us with our live event when our festival takes place in August of this year, such as securing a location, which is a major necessity for our organization and the work that we're going to be doing. We're also going to be providing educational workshops for people trying to get into the arts, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's painting, becoming painters, becoming writers, all sorts of the arts. And these educational workshops will help provide a stepping stone for people trying to make a career or trying to give back to the community. Queens Film Festival INC also belongs to the Queens Borough Presidents Nonprofit Network, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Plant Powered Metro New York, Leanna Levine Reisner.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Leanna Levine Reisner. I'm the president and network director of Plant Powered Metro New York. We're a 5-year-old nonprofit organization whose mission is to support our diverse residents in improving their health and overcoming chronic disease through evidence-based nutrition. Like our mayor, I personally reversed a chronic disease using food, in my case, endometriosis, and in his case, type 2 diabetes. And this prompts our passion for the field of food as medicine. Queens neighborhoods need out-of-the-box public health solutions to stem the tide of chronic disease, especially within communities of color. There's ample evidence showing that eating predominantly whole plant foods like whole grains, vegetables, and beans makes it possible to reverse hypertension, put diabetes into remission, improve kidney function, and achieve a healthy weight. In light of this, we believe Queens can become a health haven and a public health pioneer by dedicating serious attention and funding to proven nutritional interventions. We had the privilege of speaking last year with the Deputy Borough President about her vision of creating a Blue Zone, a longevity hotspot in Queens, and plant-rich eating is a pillar of the Blue Zones. So as a member of the Queens Borough Presidents Nonprofit Network, Plant Powered Metro New York raises awareness of the power of whole food, plant-based nutrition for health, and we work in partnership with Queens-based organizations like the Queens Public Library, Catholic Charities of Brooklyn and Queens, and citywide partners that work in Queens like JASA and New York City Health and Hospitals. We are presenting motivational and culturally aware educational programming with partners such as these, like nutrition presentations, market tours, cooking classes, peer mentorship, and dietary change programs. So we're here this morning asking for $25,000 to deepen our partnership, specifically with the Queens Public Library, with a focus on Southeast Queens where health disparities are high. We strongly invite you as Queens leaders to invest in a plant-powered food system, including interventions that increase access to wholesome plant foods while decreasing availability of foods that we know promote disease. And simultaneously, we ask you to invest in plant-powered Metro New York's community-driven education that is demystifying plant-based eating and offering life-changing nutritional guidance, as well as skill building and shopping and meal preparation. Please allocate funding toward our programming in collaboration with Queens-based organizations, as well as adjacent food and health initiatives that are essential to the well-being of all Queens residents. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Anna Velka Cordova, Limley and Wolf, I think is that right? Incorporated?
Yes, you have it. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I would like to thank the Queens Borough President, Donovan Richards, and BP and the BP's entire team for hosting this very important hearing today. My name is Annie Velka Cordova, and I'm a principal with Lemley and Wolf Companies. We are an established, fully integrated real estate firm that was founded in 1938, and since the 80s has been focused on the development, construction, and management of affordable housing in various neighborhoods throughout the city of New York. We are submitting this testimony in support of two affordable housing projects: Far Rockaway Senior Housing, located at 1016 Beach 19th Street, Far Rockaway, Queens, and Sunnyside Housing Development, located at 43-12 50th Street in Sunnyside, Queens. Both projects together will provide 233 units of affordable housing at various AMI tiers, including for very low income, formerly homeless, seniors, and families. The Far Rockaway Senior Housing Development will house individuals age 62 and older who live independently. The building is designed to consist of 177 studio and one-bedroom apartments, plus a supers unit, so 178 in total. The building will feature ample indoor and outdoor amenity spaces for healthy programming and passive recreation. The site is currently vacant and was historically used for auto repair. The joint venture development team includes Lemley and Wolf Development, Foxy Management, 1016 Beach Partners, each of whom have successful track records in developing and managing high-quality affordable housing. The JV also recently admitted Queens-based Elmcore Youth and Adult Services, Inc. as co-developer partner, who will also serve as the nonprofit social service provider and HTFC sponsor for the seniors for the project. And as our team enters the Far Rockaway community, we are grateful for the positive feedback and encouragement received to date for various local stakeholders. We are preparing an application for the Queens Borough President's Office for $1 million and to the Council Member's Office for another $750,000 in discretionary capital funding for the fiscal year 2025, which will help ensure the project can close on construction financing by the end of 2024. And I'll start the Sunnyside overview as well. The Sunnyside Housing Project will be developed by a joint venture that includes Lemley and Wolf, Elmcore as well, and local partner Serrana Development. Elmcore will also serve as the nonprofit social service provider and HDFC sponsor for the project. The project will develop 55 units of mixed income housing with 70% affordable housing units and 30% units at market. The residential building will have a unit mix of 14 studios, 24 one-bedrooms, and 17 two-bedrooms. Residential amenities on the first and second floors will include gym, laundry room, lounge, conference room, storage spaces, bike parking, and ample outdoor common areas. The building is designed to be 100% electric with solar panels installed in the roof. The Sunnyside project is ready to begin construction. It has already obtained full new building and demolition of approvals and demo permits. This
Sunnyside
project,
site, is
yes.
that fit? No, what is the Sunnyside project that's built in? It's an empty lot too?
Yeah, it's basically an old building that used to be a pool hall. And
Okay.
there was a family there that stopped operating the pool hall, so they had the business had been abandoned, and we purchased the property in 2022.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
we are requesting a total of 2.5 million in capital funding, 1.75 million from the borough president's office and 750,000 from the council member's office, which will help ensure the project can close on construction financing by late this summer. The project is also pursuing an Article 11 tax abatement through the council member's office. It should also be noted that the team is highly committed to maximizing local hiring, MBE participation during construction on both projects, and for permanent jobs at the completed buildings. To that end, we are engaging our local nonprofit groups to bolster these efforts. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Please let me know if you have any questions.
And thank you for your testimony.
Thank
I
you.
have a question.
Sure.
Yes, from community. Yeah. Dolores, can you mute yourself?
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm the chair of Community Board 14. My name is Dolores Orr, and I was very impressed with the amenities you called out for Sunnyside.
Sure.
Can you tell me for the Far Rockaway project what amenities you're offering to our seniors?
Sure. For the Far Rockaway project, we also have community rooms. We have on the ground floor, we will have social services office that will be operated by Elm Court, and then a community room that connects to a garden area for seating, and also at the back of the building there will also be planters that can be used for planting purposes, either vegetation or that type of programming. It will be up to our nonprofit partners to implement these programs. On the 6th floor, you also have another setback of the building, and it's a large community area that is community room that is connected to an outdoor deck, again opening it up for residents to have ample outdoor spaces during the year. And we also have obviously the solar panels as well in this building. It is also going to be 100% electric. We're actually designing to passive house standards in this building in order to keep electricity costs as low as possible for our seniors. So it'll be passive house combined with solar panels as well here.
So you're not going to have any sort of exercise room, light exercise for our seniors? It's all passive, other than the gardening.
We should probably have this conversation a different day, because
Okay. No, I was just going to say that the community. Sorry.
I actually reach out to the community board.
Yes, thank
just
you.
to speak with her on the side on this, because I don't want to turn this into a land use hearing.
Okay, no problem.
And we want to keep it strictly on budget.
Okay.
All right. So if you can reach out to Dolores.
Yes, I'll reach out.
4717. All right. All right. Thank you.
If you could post her number, Iraq, so I can give her a call, if you don't mind.
We'll make sure you get it.
Thank you so much.
All righty. We're going to go to Consortium for Worker Education. Noah. Thought he was here. Oh,
Thank you.
virtual.
Good afternoon, Queens Borough President Richards and staff. My name is Noah Meixler, and I serve as the director for the Astoria Worker Project at the Consortium for Worker Education. Thank you for inviting us to present on the work we do, providing job training and business incubation services in Queens. Founded in 1985, the Consortium for Worker Education, or CWE, is a New York City-based nonprofit workforce development organization, overseeing a network of over 40 job training and placement providers across the 5 boroughs. In 2022, CWE experimented with a new model of providing worker services with a focus on building worker power and a more worker-centric economy. The Astoria Worker Project, or AWP, is a worker center offering worker cooperative incubation, workforce development services, and mental health programming. A focus of this project has been servicing workers on the forefront of exploitation, including workers traditionally not serviced by the workforce development community, as well as many of the immigrant communities in Western Queens. Our AWP partners include, but are not limited to, Starbucks Workers United members, who train residents on workers' rights laws, the Street Vendor Project, which trains vendors on business management, marketing, and digital skills, and the CUNY Community and Worker Ownership Project, which trains entrepreneurial Queens residents in collaborative entrepreneurship and sustainable business practices. Since the AWP began offering courses just over a year ago, in November 2022, over 1,500 hours of instruction have been delivered to residents living in Queens. We're requesting $20,000 from the Borough President's Office to build capacity and expand our operation and workforce development portfolio in Queens. This would include ESL classes for Workers United members at a garment shop in LIC, financial literacy services for Queens UFT paraprofessionals, as well as to offer programming at Queens Public Schools for parents. We would be most appreciative for the support from the Borough President's Office, and we look forward to continuing to work with the Borough President in delivering these vital services on behalf of Queens workers. Thank you so much for the time.
All righty, thank you for your testimony. Next, we're going to Noble, New York chapter.
Hello.
Oh, am I wrong?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Good
Hey.
morning. Good morning,
Good morning.
President Donovan, and your staff, and just thank you so much for the opportunity to testify today. The National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, or NOBLE, is a professional organization of criminal justice practitioners. It includes police, corrections, and attorneys who are dedicated to advancing justice, equity, and excellence in the administration of justice. Our organization's mission has three main objectives. One, to participate in the decision-making process on public safety issues. Two, to develop criminal justice professionals to ensure that they become the leaders who are committed to promoting equity in the criminal justice system. And three, to strengthen vulnerable communities of color by providing and linking them to resources. Our organization carries out various outreach efforts such as book bag giveaways, homeless outreach, and a scholarship program where we gave out last year $15,000 to graduating high school seniors. And another one of our programs is our mentorship program. This year, we plan to expand our mentorship program for underprivileged youth, specifically in Queens neighborhoods, in a program that we will call the CHOP. In this program, we will empower youth through legal education while fostering financial independence through the development of entrepreneurial skills. The students will build relationships with criminal justice professionals who will in turn educate the youth about the laws and their rights. Guest speakers will also include professionals such as financial planners to help youth plan their financial future. And the students will also have an opportunity to learn basic job skills in barbering to help them achieve short-term financial independence. Our organization is a proud member of the Queens Borough President's nonprofit network, and we are asking the Queens Borough President for $25,000 in expense funding to support this program. With this funding, we will launch our multi-week program that will provide several cohorts of young people with basic barbering skills. Each week, young people will receive a lesson on a different barber skill, and during that lesson, the program will be attended by members of NOBLE, local police officers, and criminal justice professionals, and of course, the master barber that's giving the course. The participants will talk about current events and have an opportunity to engage in meaningful conversations about their experiences in a style similar to the traditional barbershop experience. At the end of the cohort, which will be about 8 weeks, the young people will have developed basic barbering skills under the tutelage of the master barber, and then we'll provide each youth successfully completing the program with their own barbering set, clippers, chairs, and stuff like that, so that they'll be able to start their own private businesses and set them down the preliminary path to entrepreneurship. The funding will support the master barber that supplies to the students and any administrative and refreshments necessary for the program.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your testimony. All right, we're going to go to Gene Silva, Flushing Meadows Corona Park Conservancy.
Okay. Good morning, Borough
Hello.
President. Good morning,
Good
members.
morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to Borough President and to all the other panelists on the board. I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk a little bit about Flushing Meadow Corona Park, what we do, and why we are so thankful for having the borough president and his staff behind us every year. The primary reason why we are asking for funding this year is to help us to get back up and running again with all other events in the park and expanding our volunteers. As everybody knows, we've been in a pandemic, a flood year, life-changing changes to our homes, to our workplaces, horrendous natural disasters, hurricanes, fires, building collapses. Too many of these to be listed that has taken place over this past 4 years and still going on for quite a few of them. One of the biggest problems that the other nonprofits and businesses all over, we have wanted to into extended, shortfalls with our volunteers and our people who normally serve our board and our events. We even suffer through we will suffer through a budget crisis that cut our budget almost a third of our normal allotment. We will still work together to make Flushing Meadow Corona Park, you can find us on the web, real simple, 4 letters, fmcpc.org, being stronger once again, and go back to our title of the world's park. We're going to lead the world with the demographics of Queens and the mixture of people that are here that have some hope, so helpful throughout the year. I want to thank once again, the continuing support, and see you all at the park, the world's park. I'm gonna make this short because I know there's a lot of people out there. But I just want to mention one other thing. Now that we've finally opened up a little bit area, you got to come out and get some fresh air. You got to come out to the park. The park is blooming all over, especially in April and May. It's beautiful. The Pat Dolan Trail is magnificent. All the institutes, I hate this word, all the cultural institutions are open and looking for your support and look by coming in and seeing what they have. So please join all the activities at Flushing Meadow. In fact, our big event that's coming up in June, the Governor's Ball last year was successful, and we really think that next year is going to be even better. So thank you again for your time. And if anybody would like to come on the board and help us out to staff up our staff again, or if you'd like to make arrangements to have maybe your classroom space out at the park, give me a call or email me. Thank you again.
Go ahead, Jane, promoting the park the right way. It is a great park. We're very happy to welcome Governor's Ball back. Just a lot of fantastic events happening in the park. That's our central park. So thank you so much for your commitment, and we look forward to continuing to work with you to promote the world's park. You're correct. All righty, we're gonna go to Ranum Tasnuva, South Asian Women Project. Sorry, I skipped over you by mistake.
No worries. Good afternoon, Honorable Board President and the respective members that are present here today. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Ranum Tasnuva. I have been working in the field of gender-based violence for over 11 years and a survivor of intimate partner violence, which led me on this path. I am the founder and executive director of the Queens-based nonprofit organization called South Asian Women Project. I started South Asian Women Project in mid-2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic to support women from the South Asian community by providing free virtual crisis counseling and support group space, women who have faced the same situation I survived. South Asian women often suffers from intimate partner violence and isolation because of the lack of support and understanding from their own community. The community as a whole remains silent when it comes to intimate partner violence and child abuse as a result of the stigma around it. We created South Asian Women Project in direct response to that very specific and often overlooked needs shared by our survivors community. Our goal is to create a safe space for these families so that they can build a community, have a support system in place while utilizing the space for skill building, learning about their rights, and working towards financial independence, so they are no longer dependent on their abusive partner. Throughout the year, we have partnered with a range of Queens organizations, including Queens Family Justice Center, Council Member Shekhar Krishnan's office, Council Member Natasha Williams' office, Queens Public Library, Queens Chamber of Commerce to offer information, education to community members, and to extend our reach to more people who could be benefiting from our efforts. South Asian Women Project currently provides trauma-informed counseling and case management support, legal referral and resources, linguistically and culturally specific support groups through virtual platform to South Asian women and children who have suffered or at risk of gender-based violence. We also provide educational workshop, training, and literacy program to all community members. Our work involves the intentional efforts to eliminate the possibility of families getting into violent and unhealthy practice of living. At the same time, we recognize and respect the cultural aspects and values. Therefore, all our programs are purposefully focused on culturally compatible activities that help the community to improve their overall quality of life. In 2023, we began to offer long-term counseling and case management along with short-term crisis counseling and resource navigation services to South Asian women survivors. Over the course of the year, we have more than 25 clients who are utilizing our long-term counseling and case management service on a regular basis. We have also served over 50 clients with one-time and short-term crisis support in the past year. South Asian Women Project is requesting a consideration of $25,000 from the Queens Borough President's Office to address the needs of this vulnerable population and to provide them a safe space to meet their in-person service need. With the support, we will be able to continue the most impactful work to ensure our survivors' needs are addressed. We also look forward to continue our partnership with your office and hoping to count on you to support with reaching all Queens residents, creating more meaningful programs, and for the City Council discretionary funding. Thank you for all the work that your staff and you are doing for the Queens community. We appreciate you.
Thank you, and thank you for all that you continue to do. All right, we're going to go to Afi now. Mai Chang.
Hi, good afternoon, Borough President Richards and members of the panel. My name is Mai T. Chang. I am the Chief of Staff of Asian Americans for Equality, We Go by AFI. We are joining today as a member of the Queens Borough President's nonprofit network to speak with you about AFI's impactful work in Queens. For 50 years, AFI has championed an equitable future for our city's underserved communities through community development. Our services holistically equip low-income immigrant families to achieve safe, stable, and fulfilled livelihoods. These encompass social services, affordable housing, small business assistance, and homeownership advancement. Demand for our services amidst current conditions of economic uncertainty is ever increasing. We're testifying today to the pressing need for your collective support of our communities at this critical moment. Each year, 35,000 New Yorkers access our citywide services anchored in Jackson Heights and Flushing, as well as Chinatown and the Lower East Side. Last year, over 6,000 individuals received housing, immigration, and entitlements counseling at our Queens locations. Over 600 high schoolers from across Queens participate in AFI youth programming annually. One Flushing, our pioneering 100% affordable housing development in the heart of Flushing, has provided 231 vitally needed affordable units in the neighborhood. Through our affiliate, Renaissance Economic Development Corporation, we've disbursed $4.6 million in low-interest small business loans to immigrant entrepreneurs in Queens. And through AFI Community Development Fund, we facilitated $18.5 million in capital for first-time homebuyers in Queens. We are committed to proactively expanding our efforts in pace with community needs. This work is only sustainable through your continuing support and meaningful partnership. Together, we can empower Queens' underserved communities upon paths of opportunity and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for all the work that you're doing to address poverty and housing. They go hand in hand in Queens. Can you give me a status? And I know we had funded a project in Far Rockaway in Edgemere. Do you have a status report on where we're at on that desolate site on Beach 54th Street, or how close we are to demolition? You're muted.
I'm sorry, I'm going to need to check in with my colleagues about that.
Cross Motion Bay houses, it's been desolate for 40 years, and I know you guys were awarded by NYCHA. So I look forward to catching up on that, and if you could have them reach back out to me to get an update on that site as well. But we love the work that you do and look forward to continuing to support you. All righty. All righty. We're going to go to the next panel. Bob Monahan, who's supposed to be retired, the Greater Ridgewood Youth Council. Why are you here?
I wanted to just.
I thought you were retired. Then I go to your retirement party.
You came to my retirement party. Thank you very much. It was a really nice time. But I am still the president of the Greater Ridgewood Youth Council. Last summer, we served 4,500 young people in Summer Rising and day camp. Had 1,000 SYs. We're a pretty nice organization. You have supported us in the past, and I'd love you to support us again. Next year, I promise I'll have some testimony and ask for more money. So whatever you have left over after all of this, I'd love some. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for all the work that you do and in the partnership, and truly all the work you do across schools, across Queens, and really appreciative. And I think one of your staff members might have played in a basketball game with me Saturday. I can't remember.
By the way, this is the man who will actually be taking my place.
Oh, come introduce yourself. Come introduce yourself.
The Chief Executive Officer for Programs and Education at the.
All right, she can introduce herself. You retired.
Hi, my name is Janine Mann. As Bob said, I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Education and Programs. I oversee our pre-K, all our after-school programs, Summer Rising. We're very happy at the agency that Bob didn't retire, but that's what we do, and we love our job. So thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Bob, as well.
Thank you very much.
Just keep the pizza parties going. I'll be there. All right.
We have everything ready.
All right. All right. We'll now hear from Swami Durga Das, the River Fund.
Good afternoon. Grateful and honored to be able to present today. I'm the CEO of the River Fund New York, or River Fund, established 33 years ago in response to HIV and AIDS. And as we moved along, we moved into becoming a poverty frontline center. We address the issues of poverty on 3 tiers. We have a food, we work with groceries. We do about 1.2 million pounds of food a month for our on-site program every Wednesday and Saturday. We have mobile programs that go out to Rufus King Park and to the Pink Houses in Brooklyn. And our other tier is our hub and spoke program, dealing with other smaller agents, groups in the neighborhood that we can help out. And we have a homebound independence program delivering grocery to those who are unable to leave their homes. Our 3 tiers of engagement is second is our benefits. We have 6 benefit agents, and we have where we do about 300 appointments a month, ranging from SNAP, Medicaid, Medicare. We work with GMAC, Urban Justice, Catholic Charities to address the immigration issue in Richmond Hill and the surrounding area. And our last here is our Cradle to College program, where we really feel that we move the needle against poverty. The first two issues are really address the immediate need of groceries, but the last here is our educational program. We have a scholarship program, a mentoring program, and we just purchased the building in the last year next door, and that's our education center. And we're looking for, out of it's a $2 million budget, to revamp it, to get it into having labs there for our youth, continue our Mary C. Tiedemann Scholarship Program, where we provide a scholarship for students in poverty, and then continue our mentoring program. And out of that, we're asking for $250,000.
Now, where's the building at?
It's at 8911 Lefferts Boulevard,
so right
and
down.
it's being converted right now. We're in the process of it as a community facility, and the building next door is 8909, where the education center dwells.
Well, we want to thank the River Fund for your continued partnership. I think we got an event coming up in a few weeks too.
Yes, we do.
But I really want to thank you for your consistency and really addressing food disparities across the borough. And we look forward to working with you on
And we're
that.
really honored to present today. It's the first time, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Thank you.
Don't let it be the last. All right.
Definitely
Sure
not.
won't be. All righty. Thank you. Marilyn Martinucci. Yes, how are you?
Good afternoon. My name is Marilyn Martinucci. First, I want to thank President Donovan Richards and the panel for inviting HSS to share our preventive screening program. So HSS focuses on the early detection of thyroid cancer. The reason we focus on that is because when we go for our annual physicals, the physicians, just by the way insurance dictates, they're only allowed to do this. And sadly, you cannot feel the nodules in the thyroid. Why is that important? First of all, for women, it is our number 6 cancer, and it is linked to ovarian and cervical cancer. So if you can early detect nodules in the thyroid and follow them, it will also alert your physicians to make sure they're checking the other areas of women's health. The second, it's the 13th fastest increase in cancer in the US. And for our 9/11 responders and for those who lived near the site, worked, including laborers, bus drivers, it is their top 5 cancer. To date, we have been grateful for the past support from the Borough President's office. We actually held one of our screenings. We provide them in the form of a health fair. First come, first serve. We have designated times, locations. We can go anywhere. We don't bring a bus. We literally just bring the table where the member or individual getting screened can lay on. Our ultrasound machine is the size of the laptop. And it takes about 5 minutes to see if there's any nodule. If there is, we just tell you to share it with your doctor and get followed. To date, we've saved over 1,000 lives, and we do a lot of work in the community of Queens. And we would like to continue to screen in your community, in the borough. Everyone is affected by this. And so our outreach and support from the borough president would be appreciated again. We're asking for 20,000, which will allow us to screen about 1,000 members of the community. And again, we can go anywhere, community board meetings, CYOs, adult places, anywhere you need us to screen. And we've had great support in the past, and we hope that you will continue to support us and help keep the Queens Borough healthy. Any questions?
That'll be it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Continue to see you out there.
Thank you.
All righty. We're going to now go to, I didn't see Leonard. Just right here. Oh, I don't know why I was thinking of a different Leonard. Okay. Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning.
I'm going to go slightly off script. Thank you for the work that you do, because my mom was screened and she's here today because of the kind of work that your organization does. So I just wanted to say thank you. You're very welcome.
And they're everywhere, often with their tables. So thank you.
Thank you for seeing me today. I do represent JCAL, the Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning, founded in 1972. We offer high-quality visual and performing arts programs and provide accessible education programs to encourage participation in the arts. JCAL, as you may know, is the only member of the Cultural Institutions Group in Southeast Queens and a proud cultural anchor. We operate the Jamaica Art Center with galleries, artist and rehearsal studios, classrooms, a studio theater and offices, and the Jamaica Performing Arts Center, a 400-seat theater. Last Saturday, Mr. Borough President, we were delighted to host you and your crew at the second annual Queens Tech and Job Fair, and thank you for thinking of us as a venue for that event. Our core programs include music concerts, a theater series, a dance series, and visual arts residencies and exhibitions, all intended to highlight Queens-based creatives. Last year, JCal's attendance exceeded our pre-COVID levels. We served 52,000 of our residents, including thousands of school children. And that is to say, the community inspires our work. Pop-up events and installations in honor of hip hop's 50th anniversary last year appeared at York College and King Manor. Through a grant from Association for a Better New York, the Jamaica Y and JCal have launched a workforce development initiative for youth in transitional housing. And the JCal Artistic Director, Courtney French, and I serve on the Queens College Advisory Board and the Queens Rising Steering Committee. I also serve on the steering committee of the Jamaica Area-Wide Rezoning. As you may know, we've had some cuts this year from the Department of Cultural Affairs, and that's what I really wanted to lift up in this conversation. There have been 2 pegs so far, plus the removal of our quote-unquote MET money, and it totals more than $150,000 in general operating support that has been cut from our budget this year. JCal and JPAC are now closed on certain weekdays, and our part-time staff, much to our chagrin, has been dramatically reduced. Mr. Borough President, you and I had this conversation back in October. Oh, well, I timed it, but oh, well. Our baseline support has been unchanged since 2013, and DCLA has told leadership of my organization in no uncertain terms that a baseline increase is unlikely during this administration. So the bottom line is it's very challenging for us to deliver high quality service and maintain 2 buildings in this environment. Your discretionary support in fiscal 25 would help to sustain us in this destabilized atmosphere. We request, what was the number? $15,000. And this is simply to keep our part-time staff with us. We are trying to retain really good people, such as those that you worked with the other day. They would also be involved. I don't have time to talk about all of our programs, but in July will be the Downtown Jamaica Rhythm and Jazz Festival. We're combining our Jazz Festival with the Rhythm Festival, and I'm happy to announce that Samara Joy, 2-time Grammy winner, has been secured as our headliner, and we have a grant to pay her elevated fee. But we need to keep our part-time staff to make that happen, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And so important that we keep culture and art going in Jamaica, a hub for that, actually. And so we look forward to working with you on this ask, and we're going to continue to fight to make sure we preserve and grow culture in Queens. It's one of the reasons we've invested a lot of money into our cultural institutions, but want to ensure that anything we can do to see an increase in arts, which we need here more than ever. I mean, we talk about mental health. There's a direct correlation between mental health and arts. So we look forward to the work ahead. And we don't take no from the administration. We'll continue to fight. All righty. We're going to go to John Perricone now, the Woodhaven bid.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the time to address you this morning. My name is John Perricone. I serve as the Executive Director of the Woodhaven Business Improvement District. The Woodhaven BID is a vibrant and culturally diverse commercial district nestled along Jamaica Avenue in Woodhaven, Queens. Founded in 1993, the Woodhaven BID serves 369 floor storefronts along Jamaica Avenue, stretching from Dexter Court to 100th Street. Along these 25 block faces, the BID administers services to commercial tenants through its supplemental sanitation services, public safety, district and community marketing, holiday lighting and programming, and producing dynamic public events each year. Woodhaven continues to attract new residents and businesses, although many of the businesses on Jamaica Avenue are longstanding. With some in business for more than 100 years, there have been some new vacancies on the corridor due to the financial impact that COVID-19 has had on the small business community. Woodhaven continues to grow while preserving its historical and cultural essence. Exciting new projects in partnership with local community-based organizations and city agencies will open the avenue to cultural and social events that will engage the community and increase foot traffic. Unfortunately, there are numerous challenges that face our organization. We are considered a small bid based on our current assessment, which restricts us in identifying new opportunities and funding current programs and services. Due to citywide trends relating to increasing rents and prices, our small businesses are put in a difficult position to be successful. Quality of life issues continue to be a top priority for our small business owners as well. It is vital that we continue to work collaboratively to ensure that our small businesses have the resources they need to prosper. Small businesses are the backbone of the New York City economy. We believe that when these businesses do well, everyone will benefit. Furthermore, the continuing issues plaguing small businesses brought forth by the COVID-19 pandemic is still the reality. Programs and services like access to capital opportunities, shop local campaigns, and connecting local businesses to larger opportunities will provide much needed assistance. I thank you again for giving me the time to speak to you today to tell you about the Woodhaven bid. I look forward to working closely together to ensure that our small businesses are at the forefront of the discussion and to ultimately make Jamaica Avenue and Woodhaven an even better destination. Thank you.
Do you have a specific ask for us?
So generally, we're looking to fill the gap on what our assessment restricts us with.
Okay,
So
got it.
operating, and we're also looking at ways to increase access to capital right now for our small business owners.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Reach out to me, John, so we can
Will
talk
do.
about it.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a brief recess and be back at 1 o'clock. This is the next panel? Okay.
Let me just double check with Jordan.
Hello, Jordan. Are we already broadcasting or could we continue? Oh, we're good. Thanks.
We're good to keep going.
All righty, so we'll hear from the next panel, Larry Lutzak, the Oratorio Society of Queens.
Thank you, Borough President. Well, thank you.
I know you want to be close to me, but.
Please rewind the clock. Okay, good afternoon, and thank you so much, Borough President Richards, for having us, and Ms. Young, okay, and Mr. Mallon. I am Larry Lutzak, the president of the Oratorio Society of Queens. With me is board member James Trent, and we're here to represent the Oratorio Society of Queens. We've already given you our testimony. However, I'd just like to mention that in the link that's on there, in the Gazette, Queens Gazette, and I have a copy of that, we do have a very nice review there. What I'd like to do now is play a brief 1-minute melody so we can keep this going of what we had done this past Christmas. I know this is your favorite. Okay, and that is just a sample of what we presented at the holiday concert at Queens Performing Arts Center at Queens Borough College. So in sum, I'd like to say that we have an increasing membership now that we're post-COVID of the pandemic. We sold over 500 tickets at QPAC, which was an amazing thing, not being there for 5 years. We now have resurrected our student choral program, which is very important to us for the future of Oratorio. We now have a composer in residence program, and we do have a composer, and a conductor trainee program as well. So new, old, new. So as we're in the 97th year of the Oratorio Society of Queens, going to our 100th, we would like to remain strong with the help of the borough president, and we consider Queens to be the most ethically and culturally location in the nation. And I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. And what was your ask?
Our ask was 30.
30. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For testimony. All righty. Next, we'll go to James Trent for Bound House and Queens County Farm Museum.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
The Queens County Farm Museum is one of Queens's busiest cultural facilities, serving between 400,000 and 500,000 visitors per year, and has been continuously farmed for 327 years. We are now, as a corporate entity, now in our 48th year. We have a license agreement from the city to maintain 25 acres out of the 47 acres of the Adrian's Farm Park. 7 of those 25 acres are protected by designation as an official New York City landmark site. Within those 7 acres is our orchard, which has been in place for some 150 years. However, it is in dire need of tree replacement. There are very few trees left. Fruit trees are not as long-lived as shade trees, and in addition, the exposed location of the trees leaves them vulnerable to damage from windstorms. We are proposing in this budget cycle to replant the missing trees. We are seeking $50,000 from the expense budget to purchase a variety of fruit trees and to use in-house staff to undertake the planting to reduce costs.
Fruit trees also have the added advantage of providing the public with organically grown fruit and to provide revenue stream to the museum. Besides a farm stand at the museum's grounds, we also provide a farmer's market stall at Jamaica Hospital and at Queens Borough Hall. We want to bring as much fresh, organically grown fruits and vegetables to the public as possible. Funding this project will allow the museum to fulfill its obligation, maintain the historical details of the property, and provide an important service to the public. We know funds are tight currently, so we've kept our request as modest as possible, and we are not asking for capital funding this year. Signed by me, president, founder. Ready for Bound House?
Yeah. I had a good time at Bound House.
Yes, thanks for coming out there. We're really excited that you made that trip out there. Let me just say parenthetically, I personally believe that Bound House is the most important single-family house in the United States, even more than Mount Vernon. That was just a home for a president. But Bound House represents the birthplace of religious freedom in the United States, which eventually morphed into being codified in the Constitution. Bound House Historical Society is requesting $20,000 in expense budget appropriations and $2,518,650 in total capital expenditures for the interior restoration of the Bound House and the construction of a visitor center. The capital breakdown is $1,823,000 for the interior restoration and $695,000 for the visitor center. By the way, these are not new programs or projects. These are inflation factors to projects that have already been funded and the concepts of which have already been approved.
Are you asking both the council and us, or this is just a single act?
I would have to ask Rosemary how she's handling that, but
Okay.
I think it's both.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I mean, is it combined, is it separate, are you asking separately, or is this combined? This would be one ask.
Well, I combined it as one speech, but it'd be two separate, I think it's going to be two separate, applications.
This is the total of the project?
Yeah.
The total cost?
Yeah.
Okay.
We request the Education Center go first. This new building will contain office space, ADA restroom, and space for the Underground Railroad and Parsons Nursery exhibits, as well as climate-controlled storage for archival collections. These exhibit programs cannot be accommodated in the 3 small exhibit rooms in the main building. The attached documents give more details of those requests. So you have the breakdown of the expenditures of the monies. I think perhaps this visitor center has been designed twice. And the fact that Park Department hasn't moved on this thing has frustrated us. If we go first with the house, we have to vacate the house. And then there's no revenue stream. Essentially, we'd be out of business. And we've been in business since 1947. We need to have the visitor center go first.
And the visitor
Yeah.
centers, how much was the tab on that?
We were asking for an extra $695,000 because we already have a lot of money for this.
That,
Yeah,
and these are up-to-date costs?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you for your testimony. All righty. All right, we're gonna go to Jason Simba, Festival of Cinema Incorporated.
Right. Hello. Hi, nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me today. I just start?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Let's roll.
Hi, I'm Jason Simba. I'm the founder and executive director of Festival of Cinema NYC. Festival of Cinema, Inc. is a non-for-profit 501c3 arts and culture organization based in Forest Hills, Queens. Since 2017, we have been providing the underserved communities of Forest Hills, Kew Gardens, Regal Park, Briarwood, Glendale, Forest Park, and Richmond Hill with arts and culture in the form of independent film by up-and-coming emerging artists from around the world. Through our partnership with the Queens Library, we have also provided free programming in the form of screenings, seminars, workshops, and Q&As with invited industry professionals. Each year, through our project Festival Cinema NYC, a 10-day film festival taking place in Forest Hills, we present the work of over 100 emerging filmmakers, some who are local, others that travel from as far as Australia to attend their film premiere. The festival attracts roughly over 2,000 attendees every August. Because our event happens yearly and is considered a seasonal event, our organization is seeking $10,000 in discretionary expense funding from the Queens Borough President's Office. Funding from the QBP would allow our organization to hire long-term staff to facilitate events expanding beyond our seasonal film festival so we could provide free year-round programming such as screenings, filmmaking workshops for teens and adults, and film industry seminars to the underserved communities of Queens, giving further access to the arts and culture that we provide. The event's purpose is to establish a bridge between community, education, and advocacy through film exhibition. Our organization makes it a priority to engage the community with an estimated population of 105,586 by attending events held by associations throughout the neighborhood. Those associations include Forest Hills Asian Association, Forest Hills and Kew Gardens Civic Associations, and Community Board 6, representing Regal Park, Kew Gardens, and Forest Hills. Festival Cinema Inc.'s board is made up of members, both male and female, from the Latinx, Asian, LGBTQ+, and Jewish community. The yearly event recruits over 35 volunteers for the 10-day event from all over New York City. We encourage people with disabilities, the elderly, and people from multiple ethnic backgrounds as young as 13 years of age to join our team and learn more about the film industry and how to manage an event. I have one more last thing. Can I go? Every year, our organization partners with several nonprofit organizations to highlight the work of artists from other historically unrepresented communities. In 2019, the Asian American Film Lab represented films that were targeted at the Asian community. Arte East presented work formed by artists and filmmakers from the Middle East. In 2001, we worked with the America's Media Initiative to highlight the work of Cuban filmmakers and expose the current political turmoil in the country. We're currently working with Full Spectrum Features, an organization that represents film by members of the Black, Hispanic, and LGBTQ+ community. In 2023, our organization worked with Theaters Unsilenced, a non-for-profit organization dedicated to making festivals more accessible to the deaf community. In 2023, we also partnered with Ghetto Film School, an organization from the Bronx that helps cultivate careers in the film industry for inner city youth. And since our inaugural film festival in 2017, Festival Cinema NYC has gained the support of the New York State Council of the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs. And in 2023, our organization became one of only a handful of film festivals in all of New York State to gain the support of the National Endowment for the Arts, a clear testament of the dedication and hard work that our organizers put in to bring arts and culture to the community.
No, you said a lot. What's your ask?
10,000 was the
10,000.
ask.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
All righty.
Good day.
Next, we're going to the Museum of the Moving Image.
Hello. Just organizing myself. All good?
Again.
All right. Thank you, Queens Borough President Richards and members of his staff for hosting today. My name is Austin. I'm here on behalf of the Museum of the Moving Image. Since 1989, MoMI has been the premier institution to learn about the art, history, culture, and technology surrounding the moving image. And perhaps no other medium of art has been more transformed since 1989. Then the mediums of the moving image, film, TV, video games, and forms of virtual reality. I am here today to request a few asks to ensure that we'll be able to tell the story of the next 130 years of the moving image, as well as we've been able to tell the history of the past 130 years. I would also like to begin by thanking the Borough President for his support in kicking off our capital campaign endeavor for our core exhibition and original building redesign last year. And I'm here today to ask, to make a ambitious ask of $9 million to the city, not just the Borough President's office, to continue that effort as we complete our overall $30 million core exhibition redesign campaign. On top of being a wonderful institution to learn about the history of the moving image, we're also a great place to catch a movie or host events large and small. We screened 281 films. We screened 281 films last year and held dozens of events of various sizes, both private and public. And we are making 2 movable equipment capital requests to help us shore up our ability to do so. The first being a $1.75 million request so that we can install Dolby Atmos auditorium equipment in our 261 capacity Redstone Theater, as well as make some projector room updates because some of the hardware in there is still running Windows 03. Needs a big update, as well as a $500K movable equipment capital ask to go towards the lighting system in both the Redstone Theater and smaller Bartos Theater.
So this on top of the 9 million?
Yes.
Okay.
And last but not least, we're requesting $25K in discretionary support to support our education efforts, which include the 70,000 school students that walk through our door each year, as well as the schoolrooms that we go to all the way from Roosevelt Island Intermediary all the way to August Martin High School. We're in 8 schools overall, and we are seeking to expand our Access Morning campaign, which we host private hours for children and young adults who identify as neurodivergent. And we're seeking to expand what we do there beyond 1 weekend a month. We're seeking $25K for that.
So on the 9 million, this is what's remaining. So
yes,
you right. Okay. So out of the 30 million.
Yes, for the construction.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you for your testimony. All right, we're going virtual. We're going to hear from Matt Molina, NYC H2O.
Good afternoon, Borough President. I'm Matt Molina, Director and Founder of NYCH2O. Last time we saw each other was at the reservoir for the ribbon cutting ceremony on Vermont Place in Highland last summer. And it was a great day indeed. A lot of hard work went into making that happen. And I'm proud to say that NYCH2O led that advocacy effort. That was actually the second transportation infrastructure and pedestrian access project that we had advocated for in about 5 years. So we were happy to see that get through. We do a lot of work at the reservoir. We bring about 2,000 kids to the reservoir each year from Queens and Brooklyn for education programs. We're also the stewards of the reservoir, and we're working slowly but surely to enter into a license agreement with the Parks Department to build more access into the park. All this takes a concerted effort from our staff and the staff that we mobilize to involve volunteers at the reservoir as well. So we're asking for $10,000 in discretionary money, and we can appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, and thank you for your continued work. All right. Thank you for your testimony. We're now going to go to Gil Lopez, Big Initiatives, DBA Big Reuse.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yes.
Thank
sir.
you for having me today. My name is Gil Lopez. I work for Big Reuse, which is a nonprofit that started in Astoria, Queens, back in the late 2000s. Our mission is to advance New York City's sustainable urban environment through circular economies, programs, and divert waste from our landfill and reduce greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. At our warehouse, which is now in Brooklyn, we resell everything from building materials and housing goods to clothing and books, which diverts all of these materials from landfills. We are also a former partner of the New York City Compost Project, which it's former because Mayor Adams has recently defunded and completely eliminated the entire compost project, which included 8 nonprofits, including Big Reuse. As such, Big Reuse operated 3 composting sites while supporting over 70 community-led food scrap drop-off sites in Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. Mayor Adams' budget cuts have forced us to eliminate 16 of our 19 compost-related staff at Big Reuse, but through private fundraising, we've been able to reinstate 3 team members to keep our Queensbridge composting processing site open in Long Island City, albeit with greatly reduced processing site operational capacity. Our other 2 processing sites in Brooklyn have been closed. The Queensbridge site has been in operation for over a decade and has been a huge resource for not only Queens neighbors, including Western Queens Parks and NYCHA resident gardeners who regularly receive finished compost from us, but to dozens of other Queens groups, as well as neighbors in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Roosevelt Island. In 2020, our Queensbridge processing site won a national honor, recognized as the best small-scale composting manufacturer by the U.S. Composting Council. The facility is frequently visited by compost professionals from other cities domestically and abroad as a top-tier compost case study for other major cities. The fact is, Queens has a crowning jewel of sustainability that desperately needs both political and financial support. So I'm here today to appeal to the Borough President's Budget Office for critical support in keeping this vital and beloved operation going in Queens. I have some budget numbers, if time will allow.
Yes.
So yesterday, my colleague Mark Laster, who presented to this panel with Forest Hills Green Team, presented, and you were asking for specific numbers. I don't believe he's able to accept, but he got support from the New York City Compost Project hosted by Queens Botanic Garden, which is also no longer up. So Big Reuse is a prime contractor for DSNY, and they handle the contract for Queens Botanic Garden. And Queens Botanic Gardens budget was 402,000, and Big Reuse, our budget is 1.12 million, but only half of that is what would be required to bring back most, if not all, services we previously offered in Queens alone. So restoring both of these two budgets, the half of Big Reuse's overall budget and the QBG budget would be $962,000. This would not include funding for Grow NYC's food scrap drop-offs at their green markets, and which, according to Grow NYC, they operate 8 different food scrap drop-offs at 8 different green markets, and they don't process; they just haul food scraps to our facilities. But this $962,000 does not include Grow NYC, which is not part of the New York City Compost Project. Thank you for your time and consideration.
All righty, thank you. I'm going to do all we can to keep composting alive here in the borough. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Community compost. All right, Alexandra Rizzio, Safe Passage Project.
Thank you to the Queens Borough President and Board for inviting testimony today. My name is Alex Rizzio, and I'm the Managing Attorney for Policy and Partnerships at Safe Passage Project, a nonprofit legal services organization that provides free representation to immigrant children facing deportation. We serve over 1,300 children who live in the 5 boroughs of New York and the 2 counties of Long Island. We serve hundreds of children in Queens, and we continue to stand ready to serve children facing deportation. We're requesting $50,000 in local and discretionary youth funds or other legal services funding. As you probably know, no immigrant, not even a child, is appointed a lawyer in immigration court. If a child can't afford to hire a lawyer, they're forced to defend themselves alone against a trained government prosecutor and judge, with deportation back to dangerous conditions as the likely outcome. Safe Passage Project helps correct this injustice by providing free attorneys to kids. Beyond legal services, our social work team addresses the broader needs of our clients, such as school enrollment, homelessness issues, access to healthcare, psychological services, and public benefits. We receive funding from the City Council through the UMFI funding stream in New York State, as well as private foundations and donors. But I'd like to note that our funding from the City Council has not increased in 5 years, despite the number of children who we serve significantly increasing. Unaccompanied minors are not generally bused to New York City. Instead, they're processed by the Federal Office of Refugee Resettlement, and they're ultimately released to live with family members who already reside in New York. In other words, unaccompanied minors will arrive in New York to reunite with family regardless of what certain governors do. Because of conditions in their home countries, the numbers of unaccompanied minors arriving in New York have increased steadily over the past several years. And they're encountering the same backlogged court system and hardline immigration policies. Legal services providers are already at capacity with caseloads that approach the unsustainable. We need resources to develop long-term hiring plans, time to scale up services and recruit and train attorneys. We have the expertise to accomplish this, but we need increased investment from government entities and funders to make it happen. In the face of extreme court dysfunction and backlogs, nonprofits like Safe Passage Project are ready to continue providing human-centered, trauma-informed services for our clients. And I ask for your help in ensuring that migrants, especially children, are treated with dignity and respect. Thank you.
Thank you. And what are you seeing now with the influx of migrants coming in now? I mean, I know you've always done this work.
Right. So the numbers continue to increase, but as I mentioned, youth are not being bused from southern states. They're processed in a separate way. So when they enter the U.S. At the Mexico border, they're processed by the Office of Refugee Resettlement. Those numbers are definitely increasing. So in like 2014, 2015, when I started doing this work, we were seeing about 50,000 unaccompanied minors per year at the border. And now we're seeing over 150,000 per year at the border. And we anticipate, or we think, although the government doesn't give us really like easy to parse numbers on this, we think that about 10% of those arrive in New York City and need representation. So our case numbers have steadily increased over the past several years. Really, the uptick has been like since the pandemic. It doesn't really have a tie to like, you know, the migrants who are arriving via bus, but of course, you know, we're seeing an increase in migration across the board, and certainly unaccompanied minors are part of that.
Thank you. Thank you for the important work you continue to do. Thank you.
so much.
All right, next we will hear from Jennifer Feinberg, Center for Family Representation.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to testify today. My name is Jennifer Feinberg. I'm the Supervisor for Policy and Government Affairs at the Center for Family Representation. We urge you to ensure that this year's city budget adequately funds legally mandated representation for parents prosecuted by ACS and maintains or increases council discretionary funding for those initiatives that support legal services for indigent New Yorkers. CFR is the assigned indigent defense provider offering legal representation to parents with ACS cases in Queens, Manhattan, and the Bronx. CFR employs an interdisciplinary model of family defense, assigning each parent an attorney and a social worker. And those teams are supported by parent advocates who are parents who have a history with ACS and who can support clients from a place of empathy and understanding. We're requesting that your support in funding 3 critical areas of CFR's work in FY25. The first, CFR's Home for Good program offers wraparound legal and social work support in areas like housing, public benefits, criminal court, and immigration. Our clients rarely experience problems in neat silos, and often involvement with ACS leads to challenges in other systems. Offering a one-stop solution to this range of challenges allows CFR to address each family's needs most effectively with practitioners who understand the impact of the ACS case on the multiple other systems that our clients face. We're asking for DOVE funding from City Council that allows us to offer intensive social work services to some of the 22% of our clients who identify as survivors of domestic violence in Queens. Social work staff complete assessments and make appropriate referrals that address not only the issues of violence, but also the client's cultural background. Our teams work collaboratively with our clients to develop safety plans and advocate for our clients to remain with their children, preventing further trauma caused by separation. CFR also represents parents in ACS investigations and in SCR hearings through its Right to Family Advocacy program. Providing legal and social work representation to parents is extremely effective at preventing unnecessary trauma, court filings, and family separations. And for those parents that we represent at SCR hearings, 95% have had their records amended and sealed, which means that they're more able to find employment to support their families. And to give specific numbers, we're asking for $425,000 for our Home for Good program, which comes for legal services for low-income New Yorkers and indigent New Yorkers. And from Community Safety, we're asking for $150,000 from DOVE and $825,000 from Family Guardianship to support Right to Family Advocacy. Thank you for the opportunity to share more information about CFR, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm familiar with their work. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to Christine Rutkowski, Community Health Network.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for having me present today. My name is Christine Rutkowski. I'm the Vice President of Development at Community Healthcare Network, otherwise known as CHN. CHN is a federally qualified health center providing critical primary care and supportive services in underserved communities in New York City. Reaching over 80,000 individuals annually, CHN welcomes individuals of all ages, regardless of their ability to pay for services. One of CHN's largest health centers is the Long Island City Health Center, which is located at 21st Street and 36th Avenue. Each year, the site serves over 7,000 patients, of which approximately 20% are uninsured. In 2008, CHN took over the site and began offering primary care and behavioral health care, as well as supportive services, including health education, nutrition counseling, case management, and social work. In 2021, we purchased the clinic from its long-term property owners, cementing our commitment to the Long Island City community. The property acquisition has allowed us to make critical infrastructure improvements in the last couple of years, which has been able to help us improve patient care and provider experience. Additionally, in 2021, we were awarded a federal teaching health center grant to fund a new family medicine residency program at that site. The residency program will train a new class of family medicine doctors every year to provide comprehensive community-based healthcare in Long Island City, and will support their commitment to community healthcare in the long term. So far, we've had over 300 applicants for the program, and we are excited to introduce our first class of residents this summer. In this year's capital application cycle, CHN is requesting funding to support continued construction and renovation on the Long Island City Health Center. Now that we have ownership of the site, we are making the critical infrastructure updates that we weren't able to do before, which includes a new welcoming facade to the building and improved energy efficiency features, including new windows and lighting. These improvements will contribute not only to our goal of providing a state-of-the-art training space for our new residents, but making sure that our patients have the highest quality clinical environment to receive their care in Long Island City. We will be requesting $250,000 from the Queens Borough President's Office for this project, and we'll also be requesting funding from Council and supporting it with our own capital project reserves. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present today, and look forward to any questions you may have.
Thank you so much for the work you're doing. You answered my question. I want to know if you were going to request from the council as well.
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you. Sounds like a
Thank
great.
you so much.
Seeing a larger, are you seeing a larger influx of folks being that I know we've had a high concentration of migrants also in Long Island City? So
Yes.
do you, those individuals, so you are, okay.
We are, yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, Sheila Lewandowski, Chocolate Factory Theater.
Hello, good after. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Good afternoon, and thank you, Borough President Richards, first for being a champion of Queens and its diverse cultures and artistic program, and also for the incredible capital support you provided through the Chocolate Factory Theater. I also want to recognize Deputy Borough President Young, Michael Mallon, Iraq, and the staff. I want to thank you for the hearing. I'm going to jump right in. My name is Sheila Lewandowski. I'm founding executive director of the Chocolate Factory Theater. We are an award-winning theater here, born and raised in Queens. We support individual artists and the community. Artists, we provide commissioning support. We also pay them as employees at $30 an hour for all of their labor that happens in these doors, providing workers' comp, disability, unemployment insurance. We subsidize all tickets to the public. We ask people to pay what they can, which can be $10, but we also ask people to pay the cost at $265. We haven't had anybody take us up on that yet, but we ask. We also produce and support other events like our Mother's Day block party, which 200 and almost 300 people came who are primarily our new neighbors who are recent immigrants who are living in some of the many hotels right around us. We do this with 5 full-time staff, 4 year-round part-time employees, and a budget of around $1 million. 86% of our budget goes to labor. 26% of our budget is direct payments to artists. And we've always remained committed to equity, diversity, inclusion. Our full-time staff are 40% people of color. Our board are 36% people of color. And in the current year, our artists are 45% artists of color, 73% women and or gender non-binary. I want to jump into some other stuff that's bigger. We are asking for discretionary funds of $20,000 from the Borough President's Office. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about why. The last statistic is very important and affects us and all arts organizations is that majority of us are operating with deficits right now. And the mayor is also proposing a serious cut to the agency Department of Cultural Affairs. So I'm asking you to please fight for the Department of Cultural Affairs because the repercussions of that cut will be jobs, will impact local businesses such as restaurants, shops, hardware stores, and delis. Fewer visitors means less money spent in the neighborhood. The budget for Department of Cultural Affairs is just 0.2% of the city operating budget. It's not enough. Can I go or do you want me to stop?
Keep going, keep going.
Okay. I'm asking for you to fight for us, but in a way, I'm also imploring, demanding, because in the same way we need schools and we need school seats, we need places for those creative young people to grow up and perform in, to have their exhibits in. Maybe one day their work will be at Socrates or Lincoln Center or Chocolate Factory. Maybe they will teach dance or music. Maybe they will make films in the Queens World Film Festival, but we need your help to get that budget back for us. And also we need your help, Chocolate Factory and all the arts organizations, because we really are in deficits right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will be fighting. All right. Kelsey Brow, King Manor Museum.
Give me 1 second. There we go. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm coming at you live from King Manor Museum, and I'm also on Borough President, your steering committee for the nonprofit network. So very happy to be a part of that. And King Manor, as you can see, and I'm sure you already are aware, we're a New York City landmark, but our job is even more important than that. Our mission is to interpret Founding Father Rufus King's political legacy and anti-slavery history to teach critical thinking for a healthier democracy, something I think we know we all need right now. And as Jamaica develops, it's even more important for us to be able to provide our free educational and enrichment services to the economically marginalized. Big things are happening here in Jamaica. It seems like we have new skyscrapers popping up daily. However, a quick stroll down the avenue shows that this development is not benefiting everyone equally. We see many people who are struggling to make ends meet, so we provide almost all of our services for free. We recently hosted a community thrift event in partnership with a local school where we helped over 75 families obtain free household items and clothing. As we approach an election year and the 250th anniversary of our country, our work toward fostering critical thinking, which includes media and material literacy, becomes ever more important so that our visitors can work to change systemic inequities so events like this won't be necessary. In the meantime, we are requesting your support to help us with funding programmatic expenses, such as expanding our audience through developing and implementing a marketing plan, so more community members can be aware of the resources available to them here, expand our linguistic accessibility by hiring a part-time Spanish-speaking educator, and just help us cover the costs of adding more services as our community grows. We're so thankful for your support to help us contribute positively to the quality of life here in Southeast Queens. We're the only museum around, and we're not only the visual centerpiece of the big park here, but we're also a community anchor. We see over 6,000 local school children each year, and we offer critical support to classroom teachers. Our bi-monthly, that's expanded from our monthly, free family craft days engage over 1,000 families annually, and they bring their families back for other events here. So big things are happening here in Jamaica, and with your help, we can make impactful things happen here as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share my passion for the museum and for the Jamaica community, and thank you for your support of our area and what we do here.
Thank you, Kelsey. All righty, we're now going to go to Larry Grubler, Transitional Services for New York.
Hi, it's good to see me and hearing.
Yep.
Great, it's good to see you all again. Thank you for allowing me to present today. I think most of you know Transitional Services is a nonprofit that houses and provides outpatient services to anybody over the age of 18 who has a psychiatric disability, the city's most vulnerable population. We have programs that are funded by the city and the state, but we have 5 areas this year that we're asking for funding where the contracts do not cover what we need. Our Crisis and Counseling Center needs $108,000 for ongoing nursing services and supplies. For the nurses give injections, they draw blood, they help monitor the client's health. Turn the page again, our affirmative business needed $101,984 to supply wages for the bookstore workers who are being trained. We raised $50,000, we need another $51,194. We have a joint effort with
it's still going, but so I don't like to sign off for it.
We have a joint effort with the Spirit of Huntington to do a RS therapy program, which is a totally unfunded program, and we need about $50,000 to keep that going. Our Empowerment Center needs $19,968 for some furnishings and operational costs. That's a peer-run program, open 7 days a week. Our employment services needs new computers and to the tune of $11,290. And we're going to be doing discretionary city council funding as well as asking Borough President's office. But we're applying for $2 million for our newest program on Archer Avenue, which is going to be 100 units of housing, a respite program, and we're going to be moving all of our outpatient services to that building. We're also going to be providing a mental health and health wellness center for the Jamaica community, who's been extremely supportive of our efforts. I can't wait to see you at the ribbon cutting for that as well. Thank you for allowing me to present today. And if you have any questions, I'll certainly answer them. Oh, and one more.
$2 million, is that a BP ask or a combined combination? That's an account.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right.
And also one more thing. Thank you for the Creedmoor plan.
Yes.
I'm just glad to find this.
Baking.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the work you continue to do. And I just passed by your building the other day. Really, it's good to see it when there's no cameras around and see how the general public and how the residents there are interacting with the facility. It's really beautiful.
Something happened that I just want to share really quickly about that. The Concerned Citizens for Jamaica actually invited the residents to sit on their council. Which
nice.
Amazing to me. That's never happened in my career.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Great. Wow. Community development, that's what it looks like. Right. Evie Litwook, witness to mass incarceration. Evie. You might be muted.
Hi. Please forgive my appearance. Can you see me?
Oh,
you can hear me?
We can
Okay.
hear you, but that's fine.
Okay. So my name is Evie Litwock. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Evie Litwock. I'm the Executive Director of Witness to Mass Incarceration. We piloted a program in Queens called The Art of Tailoring, which we provided to 10 formerly incarcerated people. And we now are in partnership with the Queens Economic Development Corp. We're about to move into one of their buildings and take over a 5,000 square foot space, which would allow us to create a hub where we can teach this program 5 days a week. We want to create this makerspace for formerly incarcerated people and we want to provide training and tailoring, which we believe will give marketable skills and economic independence to a group that has problems earning a living. The vision is to create this vibrant community hub where they can produce and sell their creations and foster a self-sustaining economic model. Our goal is to help people get into small business because we have such a great difficulty in landing jobs. We recognize the often overlooked resilience and skills of formerly incarcerated people, and we want to tap into these untapped markets. This initiative is also a community building effort. Through productive and creative work, we seek to foster a more inclusive and vibrant Queens. Our ultimate goal is to demonstrate how to empower marginalized communities. We will be offering classes to not only formerly incarcerated people, but migrant communities. The cost of training 10 people to earn a living is roughly $40,000 a day. $40,000 for the program, which it breaks down to about $4,000 a person to be able to allow them to start a small alteration or repair business or to become a machine operator in the manufacturing end. So we're asking you to consider funding 1 day of this program. I see my
Give
time.
me the total again you requested?
40,000.
40,000, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you're doing. All righty. Hazak, Izzy. Hello. Welcome. Maber.
I come here all the way from the vast distance of Kew Garden Hills, right over the other side of the highway. And I'd like to say how pleased I am to be here testifying in person and how much I appreciate that you folks have been here all day and all yesterday sitting here listening to all of us. 5 years ago, Chazak opened our food pantry just a few blocks from here. First, we operated out of our office, but from the very first day, the needs exceeded our wildest expectations. Eventually, it got so big we had to purchase a separate location just to host our food pantry. When COVID descended on New York City, the demand doubled, tripled. And when COVID supposedly lifted, demand just kept on going up. We've had, with the increase in space, we now have industrial refrigerators and freezers to provide more choice of food to our clients. We have far more shelving to hold food. And thank God for that, because our demand keeps on growing. Many people who never needed assistance before are desperate for it now. Every week, new people show up. We're now serving over 200 families a week. I think it's 250 families a week now. And while space is still tight, we have neither room for our brave workers and volunteers to socially distance. And you know what? I want to emphasize brave, because it's not just COVID. We've had workers threatened by hungry people. We wish we had enough food to go around. Fortunately, with our expanded program comes expanded costs. The rent in our new storefront being foremost among them. We'd like to ask the borough president for $25,000 to help mitigate this new and massive expense. We'd also like to invite the borough president and his staff and everyone assembled to come visit us on any given Tuesday afternoon and just see how intense the demand has gotten. Also, our organization has, just a few months ago, also within walking distance of this building, opened up a youth center in Forest Hills. And I recall you being there at the ribbon cutting. It is programs for young men and women, tutoring, counseling, recreation. Keeping kids off the street and focus on their schoolwork keeps them out of trouble. Chazak has also many other worthy projects and programs that need funding, from our youth division to our seniors division, from our after-school programs to our relationship workshops, from cultural concerts, community carnivals, and dozens of events every month. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Izzy, and thank you for the work that you're doing and all the work that Chazak is doing and filling the gaps that we certainly see in the borough, and it is recognized in this office.
I should mention that while we haven't seen an influx of migrants from Central and South America in the last 2 years, we have seen an influx of immigrants from Afghanistan.
Yep, yep, and Syria, yep. Thank you.
Any questions?
We know your work. There's no questions.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope to see you guys at our office, at our pantry, at our youth center soon.
All right, thank you. All right, any other individuals who wish to testify at this moment? We got to everyone? Seeing none? This concludes our second and last day of our fiscal year 2025 Queens Borough Board preliminary budget hearing. I want to thank all of the individuals and organizations that certainly testified this year. We value all the points made and will consider them when responding to the mayor's fiscal year 2025 preliminary budget. Once again, I want to thank all the panelists and participants who joined us throughout both days. This includes the community board chairs and the New York City Council Queens delegation and their staff. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I also want to thank my co-chairs, Deputy Borough President Ebony Young and my Chief of Staff, Michael Mallon, Deputy Chief of Staff Brittany Scott, and of course, our Budget Director, Iraq Shanaski. And of course, a special thanks to Fannie Lynn, who led the coordination of this year's hearing, and the rest of my staff as well. Of course, we mentioned Fannie, Avi Weinberg, Daniel Lewis, and Mark Townsend as well. Our budget team, thank you for all the work you do to really uplift Queens. And as we heard throughout the testimony over the course of the last few days, is we're in dire straits, and we're going to fight every cut that Queens is encountering due to the mayor's pegs, and whether it's culture. We've seen the largest influx of migrants in the city, in this borough, which has certainly impacted social services, food pantry lines. But even outside of that, we're dealing with record levels of inflation. We're dealing with housing insecurity, food insecurity, and these are real challenging times. And now is not the time to cut funding for our borough, which continues to be one of the fastest growing boroughs, more economic activity happening here than anywhere else. We need to make sure that we are building on the foundation that many of our social service providers, many of these community-based organizations who are doing God's work, doing the best that they can do every single day without the resources that they need. They were already shoestring before and still pushed it, but we are living in dire straits at this moment. And we urge this administration as we move forward to really reconsider the impacts of these cuts on everyday New Yorkers' lives, everyday Queens residents specifically. So with that being said, a lot of work to be done. I don't take this job lightly. We're going to be fighting like hell to make sure that we restore cuts to our borough and to agencies that do God's work every day. Thank you all. This concludes our 2025 preliminary budget hearing. Thank you.